Bah. Alright, hello everybody, welcome. Can't believe Shai's making us watch the video of them doing it without us. That's right, because this took place over the span of like 3 weeks, and it was an absolute fucking nightmare. Like, half the time was literally me being dead on the ground, or like running around collecting supplies, or like just bashing my head against the wall, fighting a boss over and over. You guys saw one of the streams where I was just trying Melania, and I was doing it for like 8 hours, just fighting Melania over and over and over and over and over. That was basically this entire fucking thing. But like times 10, because the whole playthrough was like 90 hours or something. It would not have been very good stream content. I wouldn't have been talking. I think I would have actually lost my mind if if I had streamed all of this. I think I really would have gone crazy. I think the only reason why I was able to even do it was because of the fact that I wasn't streaming at the time. So yeah, welcome everybody. Hello, hello. I'm just gonna show off the level 1 journey that I had off stream while I've been busy, and I've just been doing this in my free time. Truly a horrible way to spend my free time. Best way though to break my mental, that's for sure. But yeah, so we're just gonna look at this, and I'm gonna do commentary. I get this is like the director's cut commentary type shit here, I guess, because I'm too lazy to like think up a script or like try and do an actual talk over everything sort of thing for like a video. Maybe depending on how this goes, maybe I'll just post this whole stream on on YouTube rather than just this without any context, because this thing's three, you can't see it because of my big head, but this thing's like 3 hours long almost, and this is with everything cut down. So yeah, it's gonna be something. There may be some gaps where I'm just quiet and letting the gameplay play out, but you're gonna see a common theme throughout this whole playthrough, and it's that I use a shield a lot because I am bad at the game and I can't dodge very well. Um, Meanwhile, other than the shield, I use, it's like poking, so I use like a spear or a thrusting sword because you can block and attack at the same time. So this really goes to show how strong that is, except for like a few bosses at the very end where it gets really difficult, and I'll talk about that when we get there. But yeah, so let's really look. So of course, first boss, Margit. I did try to record every boss I could. I did my best. There were a few I forgot. I did forget some of like the side bosses and like side dungeons and shit. The only major, like I would call major-ish boss I forgot was the Draconic Tree Sentinel outside the capital. I had recorded a lot, and then I fucked up and I turned off the recording to like reset how much footage was going on. Like I had collected, like, because I had been streaming for like an hour or recording for like an hour at that point, so I reset it so like the video would be smaller, easier to edit, and I forgot to turn it back on. So, but I mean, this is Margit. I mean, Margit is designed to be fought at like any level. Obviously, fighting him at level 1's a lot harder, but you could easily do it. So I just went for the first weapon I could think of that was easy to grab and was strong.
Thou art of passing skill.
Here's the Flamebird.
The
Flamberge.
Tarnished.
Also, I'm going to need to figure out how to balance the audio here between my yapping and the in-game audio. Something like that, maybe. This did take a few tries, but I wanted to do it like a 1v1. That's probably why it took a few tries. Mainly because his holy attacks, like the hammer here, pierce through shields, because like the shield, it's all holy damage. My shield doesn't block holy, so I did take quite a bit of damage from this. And if I tried to like sit there and tank too much, he'd break my shield and then kill me. He has a lot of very fast swipes as well. But I mean, it's Margit. It's easy. Margit's super easy to cheese. Just go upgrade your weapon before you fight him, and there you go, you win. The only thing that makes Margit really hard is if you fight him like right away. I think I show my gear. Yeah, here we go. So you can see level 1. I tried to do this after like every fight, just show that I'm level 1. And then here's like here's the weapon. I went straight to Godric after this. While going through everything, I did my best to like only upgrade my weapon with what was in the area. So I didn't like go and plus 24 my weapon immediately from the very beginning of the game. I know how you could, or like, or not plus 24, but like, you know, as high as possible. I know where you could go and get them. I tried not to. I tried to only get it up to like what was in that zone. So I got all the stones for as high as I could get my weapon in Limgrave. Then when I went to Liurnia the Lakes, I upgraded as high as you could get in Liurnia. When I'm in like Lindell, I did the highest in Lindell, etc. So at no point did I try and like fully upgrade my weapon completely. At least I tried to avoid doing that unless I really got stuck. That was kind of like my my get out of jail free card or my emergency. Lets me know someone from Soft might know what shields are. Dude, shields are really strong. Like, they're busted. As long as the enemy is like only physical damage, shields are insane. And like 90% of the bosses in the game solely do physical damage or do majority physical. So if you build for a shield, you're playing a different game than everyone else that tries to dodge. Also, if you didn't see it, the cutscene started at the beginning when I did this. I beat Godric level 1 on my first try. It's really sloppy, and you'll see that I nearly die like 3 times, but I did do it on my first try. I'm proud of that. Look at the stamina that one hit just did. That did my like almost all my stamina bar. I don't even know how I dodged that hit. That looked like it hit me right there, but Godric's very forgiving. I feel like Godric and Margaret should have been like swapped. Margaret feels much harder than Godric, to me at least. Also, those count as physical. I didn't know that until I just blocked them there. Those tornadoes don't pierce your shield, so that's really nice to know. And the thing he does on the ground, I know you can jump over them, but like I never really timed it right. I was just hopping just in case. You'll see that I very quickly stopped trying to do guard counters and then went to shield poking. At the start, I tried to use this sword as much as I could, because this sword is really strong, especially in the early game. Because it's like one of the only great swords that does bleed. There's like only 1 or 2 others that are like late game. So this sword is really, really strong. But yeah, you can see like I am bodying him right now. Ironically, him shooting fire is like the biggest opening because he just sits there and you could just look at that. You could just get right on top of him and beat the shit out of him whenever he tries to do his like flamethrower attacks.
We'll return together to our home, bathed in rays of gold.
So yeah, you know, it's early game. I just went through the first 2 bosses pretty quick. I'm still level 1. I'm feeling good. Like, oh man, maybe I can do this. This whole the level 1 experience has taught me that, like, dude, the game was actually balanced pretty decently to give you a shot. Like, even if you're like under leveled or doing really bad, it's balanced in the way that you don't really feel it until like you get to the capital. I don't think any bosses one-shot me until the Draconic Tree Sentinel, right outside the capital. His horse does like a fireball out of its mouth, and then he can shoot down lightning sometimes. Those were like the first attacks that actually started one-shotting me. So it isn't until that point. And then, once you're in the capital, if you beat him, you can get the talisman that increases all of your defense by like 80% or something, as long as you're full health. So you can always tank one hit, basically, using that. So it's pretty interesting. Like, there's not many points in the game where you will always be one shot. It probably wasn't until like the final like maybe 5 bosses or so that they would always one shot me. Like, no, even if I had the defense talisman or something. If you know what you're doing, there's a lot of ways to mitigate damage in this game, and thankfully I knew a lot. So you can see I switched the blood Anspur rapier. So this is the one that does Scarlet Rot. I should have probably said this at the very beginning of the video, or recording, whatever. This whole playthrough was not about me trying to show I'm good at the game. It was just to see if I could actually get through the game. I think, if anything, I would compare it kind of to the, there's like an Iron Pineapple video, I believe is what his YouTube name was called, who did something like this, like when the game first came out, where he prefaces, he's bad at the game, but can he get through the entirety of Elden Ring at level 1? That was basically my goal as well. He took advantage of a lot more cheeses and like kind of like cheat like things. I didn't do that as much. I think the only boss I cheesed was the commander guy that drops that broken needle for Millicent's questline, because you can literally just have him follow you out into the rot swamp and he just dies, and it's pretty hilarious. I think that's like the only boss I actually like, well, full on cheesed. There is one other. I think Placidusax. I mean, it's kind of a cheese, but like, if I had to dodge the whole fight, it's just you could fight him in a way where he only does one attack the entire fight. We'll show that later. But yeah, I tried to avoid cheeses as much as I could, but I did take advantage of everything at my disposal. All the OP spells, all the OP weapons, any OP combo, summons, consumables, literally everything. I did everything I could. And good lord, if I hadn't done that, I think I actually would have given up, because some of these bosses are so fucking ridiculous. But yeah, with the Anspur Rapier, I can block and I can hit. I had the Rotten Stray. It wasn't even upgraded. He was literally just there so I could proc Scarlet Rot a bit faster. But yeah, like, you'll see later on, once I get some of the more like tank summons, like the ones that are actually good, I'll use them a lot. And there's some summons that make certain fights much easier. This point from here on, I just want to show this so I don't forget. I got up here to Moongrim. I died to him like once or twice doing the really long run back because of him, until I switched to the Flameburge. This is my first attempt trying the Flameburge on him. This just goes to show how good the Flameburge is here. You'll see. I tried with the Anspur Rapier at first. It wasn't working. I pull out the greatsword, bruh. Strength users got it easy depending on who you're fighting. Look, just absolutely rolled him. Bro, with the fucking, when it comes to dexterity weapons, they just don't flinch or stagger at all. So he would just like hit me through me hitting him, and he'd just kill me instantly or something, or do a shitload of damage. I didn't even cut this part because thanks to me using the Flameburge, this also took one attempt. Even fighting Rolana at level 1 only took one attempt because of how strong great swords are, and like weapons that can stagger and whatnot. course, I don't do enough damage to one phaser, but it's enough.
Come, sweetings. Time to be born anew.
I did kind of gloss over Red Wolf earlier. Red Wolf of Radigan was also a little hard. it goes by really fast. Like, the boss fight's really short because he has such a small health bar, but he was actually quite a pain. He's the reason why I had to bring out the summon on him was because, like, him jumping all over the place, casting spells. Because, like, he would jump after casting a spell, like, my lock-on would have me face him, and then the spell would hit me from, like, the side or something, where my shield wasn't blocking, and it'd kill me. So that's why I brought the summon there. But for Rana here, you can see, like, as long as you just keep hitting her, she staggers, and she can't cast anything. It's so sad to watch. Like, I even canceled her summon. She almost killed me right there. Because again, this is my first attempt. I don't even like remember all the moves at this point. All I know is just go full Unga Bunga, and just like that, like, that's disgusting.
Into being.
Just Unga Bunga and you win. Like. I can't believe how easy that was. Like, I always forget like how easy she is whenever you're using like a great weapon or something big.
My sweetings, come out from whence ye hide. There are rocks and light.
And yeah, you see, I'm only plus 13, so it's like it's not that super upgraded either. She's just that squishy. Like, okay, I think this is. Now we're in the capital. So yeah, like I said, I had to skip, or I accidentally skipped. Yeah, we're Golden Godfrey. I accidentally skipped the stupid Draconic Sentinel. I'm pissed that I did that because he was actually really hard. He took me like 2 hours to beat because of his fucking horse. And literally any time you tried to drink or like do anything, that horse would input read you and shoot a fireball and instantly kill me, because like there was no way I could tank through it. I had nothing, there was no resistance I could get enough. The item that makes you tankier to tank that one hit is in the capital, so it's being guarded by him. So I have to get through him. It took me so many attempts. If I remember correctly, I had to bring out the dog as well, and then with the Ansper Rapier to get the Scarlet Rot off as quickly as possible. I'd also have poison on the sword, or on the sword. So I'd proc poison, rot, and then I'd literally just run away from him as far as I could and just like run in circles with him as he died slowly, because it was such a huge pain in the ass trying to fight him. And once he got into his phase 2 and he'd call down lightning on you, if I'm in the middle of an animation of any kind and he does like really big AoE lightning around him, it was really, really hard to dodge it, and I couldn't block through it because it would just kill me instantly, since shields do really bad against lightning damage. Most of them do. So it was awful. It was an awful fight. And I'm really sad I didn't record that. But I did beat him in pretty much the way you would expect, and you'll see me do a lot of other bosses. Poison and rot, baby. Status effects. Like. Now, speaking of status effects, they don't work on this guy. So my sword is actually switched over to lightning damage, because I believe, I think the reason why I have it, if I remember correctly, is he's weak to lightning damage, and I didn't know this until I fought him. So I wanted just as much raw damage as I could get with this sword. I think to be more specific, he has 0 defense against lightning and pierce damage. My thrusting sword is pierce damage, and so I just put lightning on it, and then I also put Crag Blade for the bonus damage. So yeah, the one thing he's weak to is lightning. I didn't know that. He's obviously super strong against holy, because he's made out of like holy light. But yeah, He's immune to all status effects, though. Now, I could have used a different weapon that also did, like, pierce damage, but the thing you also learn when doing, like, shield poke builds like this, the weight of your weapon... One second. I'm gonna just turn it down a little bit more so I can hear myself think. But yeah, the weight of your weapon actually determines, like, how much stamina usage it uses, I believe. If I may be wrong on this, but... it's something along the lines of either the weight or like just bigger weapons in general consume more stamina to attack with. I'm level 1, so I don't have a lot of stamina. So I wanted to use like the lightest weapon I could that could also shield poke. So a lot of the time I just use this. I either use the Ansper Rapier or I use the basic Rapier, which is like a little bit lighter. If I'm not using those two, then I'm using a spear that does bleed. I use the spiked spear. But that's why I never use like a great spear or a great thrusting sword or anything like that. And it's because it just consumed so much stamina that I would fuck up a lot of the time. Run out of stamina, get my shield broken, and then die instantly. But yeah, there you go. As you can see, so far, we're still progressing fairly well. Like, I've only really had one bad encounter. Which was the fight with the Draconic Tree Sentinel. He's the worst one I have fought so far at this point. I'm still only plus 12 on the weapon, so it's not that strong. Where am I here? I'm trying to remember. I'm gonna remember as soon as I see. Okay, yeah. So I'm also trying to, like, do other bosses in the meanwhile. I came back to fight this one because I need to do Ronnie's quest line in order to fight Astel, because he's a remembrance boss. The goal was to kill every remembrance boss, including the base game and the DLC. So I had to fight this one in order to get to Astel. She was a bitch, because I tried to fight her when I was still in Liurnia, and she whooped my ass because of all the spells she casts here, you see? It's really hard to, like... go through this. You can see I have the talisman that makes me tankier. Every time I drink, you'll see like a little bubble kind of thing pop around me. So I waited until I had that talisman to come back and fight her, because I fought her beforehand and I got my ass handed to me. So this is me just coming back for revenge, essentially. If I didn't have that bubble, I think that hit right there would have killed me. As soon as I drank, the bubble reappeared, she bonked me, and it saved my life. Because I think I would have died right there. Yeah, there's the spear. Dude, the what do you call it? The spike spear? Man. That spear, I know if like if I weren't level 1, I'd probably be using the, what is it called? The Najinata, I believe it is. Like the sword spear type thing that also does bleed. That one's really good, but I didn't have the stats to do it. So I used the spike spear throughout the whole game. Because like the Najinata, I think is like 22 dexterity requirement or something like that. It's a lot of dexterity. This thing only requires 16, so it was a lot easier to manage. Yeah, the spike spear was like my baby throughout this whole thing. The spike spear and the Ansper Rapier, I used those two weapons throughout the whole game. I used those two weapons on the final boss. I used those two weapons on Radahn. Those two weapons carried me the whole game. They are some of the most diverse and like very like, I don't even know what else to call it, most reliable weapons you can hope for. Because you can put like a lot of status effects on them while being able to shield poke with them, and they have low requirements. I am proud to say this fight with Margit, I think only took me like 2 or 3 tries. This was actually a pretty fast one, which surprised me. And I think it's entirely thanks to the little bubble talisman, the defense talisman, the ritual shield. That's what it is, ritual shield talisman. This thing really carried me hard here. And then my dog there. Yeah, I'm just buffing in the corner while my dog is just dying. Like, look, I would have died right there if it weren't for the bubble. So you'll see a lot of me, like, I get hit, I get back, I drink, I can tank one hit. See, I would have died right there. If not for the bubble. So yeah, that talisman is like essential to level 1 runs. If you see here, I also start throwing kukris in order to keep up the blood build up, because I haven't gotten a blood. There it is, the blood proc. I was like, where is it? I need it. That will help a lot. Because when he's doing his little like anime scream and he starts like bursting out stuff everywhere, you can't hit him or else he'll kill me instantly. So I had to do something to keep up the bleed, and that's what I did. And there you go. It helped a lot. Thank you, Meteor, for the tier 1 sub. Thank you. But yeah, you can see like I'm still, my gear is still like fairly weaker for like the area I'm in. Oh god, please don't break. Oh, there we go. This player is a little weird sometimes. Plus 13, plus 16. So the highest I'm at is plus 16. I'm not even like a fully maxed out weapon yet still. But yeah, that went a lot smoother than I expected. I really expected Morgott to be like an utter nightmare, but I actually beat him within like less than 5 tries, and I was genuinely surprised. And now Radahn. Radahn, however, so you'll see at the very beginning of the fight, I run backwards because if you run back, you'll unload him, and he'll stop his like barrage of arrows and stuff whenever you're like coming at him, and he'll immediately switch to his melee phase. So you want to like run backwards and then loop around and then come back toward him, so he doesn't like use his bow attacks. Because if he hit me with those bow attacks, he'd kill me in like 2 shots or something like that. So it was really obnoxious. At this point, I also started using Barricade Shield to like help reduce the stamina use, or stamina like damage that they would do to my shield. But the problem with Radahn here was he is a huge pain because of how big he is like this and how much he keeps like going in circles. Because he keeps running in circles, a lot of the time he'd like, his hitbox would angle right around like where my shield is blocking, and so he'd do this wide swing and then hit me like from behind the shield and kill me anyway. So he was really obnoxious. Thank you, Ball. Thank you. So yeah, this one was also a pretty rough fight. This one took me, if I remember right, at least a dozen times. Like, this one took quite a few times. If you look back at the running segment, I had that shit done in like a rehearsal. The hard part was actually this phase when he started doing these like spells, like the gravity spells and the rocks and shit. Oh my god. What's that? I'm trying to talk, I'm trying to commentate. Thank you for the 5 gifted subs. And thank you, Frozen, for the gifted sub. Thank you. This phase here, this move, with these like these balls around him, sometimes he'd be like mid-combo and then he'd send them to attack me. And if I was too close to them, it would be really hard for me to dodge them, and they would hit, like, just one. If just one of them hit me, it would, like, either almost kill me or kill me. And that move killed me a few times, too. If I were on top of him when he did that blast, that would have killed me because I can't block through all the damage since it's magic damage. So like this was kind of a see that one too almost just killed me. I blocked there. If I wasn't blocking here, I would have died right here. You'll see, there goes like almost half my health.
What? More bits?
Wow, thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Frozen, for the bits. Thank you, Horribly, for the bits. Thank you. God damn it. You guys are just trying to ruin the video. I'm trying to... I was considering turning off alerts, but whatever. But yeah, you can see the little balls did that much damage. If that's including the first one gets reduced a lot. The second one is the one that did all that damage. So I can't block through all of them. If I try to block through all of them, they'll kill me. I can only reduce the damage from the first hit. Then there's this fucking move. Thank God I immediately blocked here. It's hard to even see, but I actually did, because it does like the rolling back animation here.
Wow.
He almost roll caught me.
Sorry, I didn't hear you from under all those bits.
But yeah, all these damn gravity moves would kill me more than anything else. Not him like, not his giant swings most of the time. Paul, thank you again for all the bits. Thank you. Oh, right there, he died. Another thing right there. Thank God he died right there. Cause I did try to block that move once. It doesn't work. Don't do it. Don't block that. It's so bad. Oh my fucking God. Ball. Thank you for the other 5 gifted subs. Thank you. Stop, please. For fuck's sake. This big spiral thing, it does multiple hits at once. So, like, it shatters through my shield, defense. So if he didn't die here and I tried to block this, he probably would have killed me. Because it's multiple hits, it's magic damage, and it eats up my stamina like crazy. So this, if I had actually tried to tank this, he probably would have killed me. So thank God the rock killed him right there. This fight I'd already taken like over a dozen tries. I got really lucky in this go. Fuck's sake, thank you, Ball. I think I skipped the cutscene in a second here. Saw so many others cheese ledge after the patch. Yeah, like I knew I could do that where like you can try and like have him fall off the edge into the ocean. I didn't want to do that. I wanted to actually fight it. But God, it was such a pain. Now, here's a fight I kind of cheesed. I just included this because it was funny. Because you could just do this. The Mimic Deer. Like, on my way to the deer boss or whatever it's called, I had to fight this guy. I had to fight myself. So what you do is you just go into the fight with no weapon equipped. Let him mimic you with no weapon, and then put your weapon back on. I was trying to find my shield, but you can see I'm trying to go through my inventory. I'm like, where the fuck was my shield? Like, oh, there it is. I didn't know they do this. If they don't have any items or weapons equipped, they'll just throw rocks at you. I'm like, where the fuck did he pull this rock from? But yippee! It's the little cheer. I felt kind of bad for just bullying him, but after Radon, like I kind of stopped caring. For this boss, it's the ancestral deer or whatever his name is. I looked it up. Apparently, because he's undead, it's an undead deer boss. He's really weak to holy, so that's why I switched my spear here to do holy damage. He's also apparently really weak to fire, so I did try to use these like little fire clumps. You can kind of, I don't even know if my mouse shows. Oh, it does. Yeah, these little fire clump things right here. You can throw at him. Apparently, he's really weak to fire as well. I tried to use them. It didn't really do a whole lot, but it was something. The main issue with this boss was that he likes to like run away and heal. Like he'll do like this big AoE thing that will also hit you, and it's what kills me. It killed me in my couple attempts. This only took like less than 5 attempts because you see how much damage I did. But that huge AoE thing that he'll do to like absorb the animals also hurts me, and you can't really block it that well. So if I was too close to him when he did it, a lot of the time it would just kill me. So I had to be very careful and like try and hit him from range, which is why I used Sacred Blade, because it shoots out like a holy projectile. And then I tried using these little fireballs as well, so I could like throw them at him, because I didn't want to be too close to him whenever he was low on health, because I didn't want him to suck me and just kill me instantly. So hello, Muse, welcome. Yeah. Congrats on the gift sub. Yeah, you can see, look how weak he is to holy damage. Like, I don't have even a drop of faith in me, in my character here, and I'm doing like this much damage. Like that, look at that. Imagine if I actually were built for holy damage or like faith and whatnot, like I'd be doing crazy. But this move, you see? Look how much of his health bar. He almost regained his entire fucking health bar, phase 2. If I had been close to him, that would have killed me. So I had to like just accept it and let him build it up. And I was like hesitating to like spam the move too much, because like it's a long animation to do the Sacred Blade thing, and you have to be kind of close. So I didn't want to be like caught in the animation where like he'd like thrust his horns up and hit me and kill me while I'm trying to like do the move. So I was specifically waiting for like good openings where like I see he's about to do something or he just finished a move. I stood in one of the puddles and almost got killed right there. Also, when he's disappearing like that, he'll still take damage. So that's a useful time to actually try and hit him. The same thing happens with Mesmer whenever he does his like snake forms. As he's turning from his snake form back to human form, you can actually hit him in that phase. So yeah, and then there you go. Thank you, Sacred Blade. That shit came in clutch so much, because like I think the 2 or 3 times that I attempted this and I lost, I died solely because of that big AoE thing. There's a few bosses like that where they have like just one move that's really hard to dodge. Melania. So, and like just overcoming that one move is the thing that will let you win the fight. Estelle was also a bit of a pain, because Estelle also does like the stupid like one move thing. He has a few moves. This would kill me instantly if I were caught in it. It's technically a grab attack, so he would lift you up and then slam you down. Grab attacks just do a fuckload of damage. That would have killed me. He'll teleport, and that just does big AoE damage. If I'm not full health, it'll kill me, because I have to have my bubble on. And then he loves to like move around a lot. So my goal is basically proc poison and rot as soon as humanly possible. So that's why I bring out the dog here, because he also helps apply rot. This took me a lot. This took me like 20 tries, I think. He's a real pain because of this move right there, where he like puts his hand on the ground and does 3 waves of magic damage. So it's hard to block it because it's magic, and it does 3 casts. So if I get hit by the first one, I die. Because the first one pops my bubble, the second one does like almost all my health, or does do the rest of my health, and the third one definitely just finishes me off. And they're really hard to like dodge, like the timing on it. so I can't block it. I'm shit at dodging, so it's hard to, to roll through it. So I had to like kind of hit his little spindly legs to like keep up the application, and I would use Poisonous Mist to like to keep up the poison buildup as well. But yeah, doing this fight level 1, it's awful. This one sucks. Look how big it is. I'm like behind him. I'm at his back legs, and that giant AoE still hits me. I'm honestly doing pretty poorly in this fight. I do notice a kind of a common trend. A lot of my poorer attempts actually end up being the ones where I succeed. Like I get hit a lot, or I do really bad on some of the more obvious attacks, and I end up winning those fights. It's kind of hilarious. But yeah, the hardest part about him is just look how much he keeps teleporting. Like it's so obnoxious. He keeps moving from one end to the other of the arena. He has really big AoE attacks, like man, just looking at it, like it relives the trauma. Like I swear, I'm remembering. Through my bubble, he almost kills me in one hit there, like. Finally, I get rot procced again here. So like now my objective is just survive. Like I've got poison, I think. No, I got rot procced. Maybe I could try to get poison or a bleed proc, like one more, and that'll finish him off. You see, I'm like throwing some kukris, trying to keep up the blood buildup. Kukris, I think, are something I should have utilized a bit more in some of the later fights. I don't use them as much later on. I probably should have, but it's whatever. Yeah, see there, that blood proc at the end came in handy. But yeah, the whole fight basically boiled down to just try and get as much Scarlet Rot and bleed and poison, I mean, as possible. That way, whenever he's teleporting constantly, you can still do damage. And also light roll. You see, I'm light load. I think you can see it. My head might be in the way. A lot of the time, I try to be light load so I can get the more distance when rolling, because that helps a lot. Because I noticed a lot of time when I was medium rolling, I wouldn't be able to get back in time, like away from him in time before he did the grab attack, and it would still like grab me anyway and I die. So I think I recorded this as well just because like I had to fight Adula, because I was gonna do Roddy's quest line. I wanted to finish it. There's a few side bosses I fight that I don't have to, but I did it just to like get the ending, because I wanted to do Ronnie's ending as well. So because it's like the most popular one and it has the most like extra bosses and stuff. I'm lucky I didn't die there. You see, that damage I took was me blocking the first bit of breath. If it had hit me a second time, that breath attack, I would have died there as well. Shields are very bad against elemental type damage unless you use specific shields for like their specific element. Like some shields do very well against specific things, and the shields that are like really good against everything require like 30 to 40 or more strength, and I don't have enough stats to wield them, so I had to like work with what I've got. Ah, yes, look at my incredible aim. Yes, you can tell it's me because I keep missing even at point blank range. This shit ain't scripted. This is the most subpar gameplay in scuffed level 1 you'll ever see in your life. You'll see YouTube videos of people no-hit, like perfect execution, butt-ass naked. They don't even have like any HP on their HP bar. It's like a single point of health, and they'll solo the entire boss. That ain't me. I'm shit at this game. But I still managed to get through it. Abusing all the game's mechanics, I still managed to do this. As Miyazaki intended. Also, I hate dragon fights. Man, the only good dragon fights are Placidusax and Bale. My lord, look how obnoxious it is, like the camera. Like how it keeps flipping all over the place and stuff. Like, I'm locked onto his foot, but it's like the camera's looking like straight up, like, huh? What are we looking at? I learned a lot during Bale's fight that Bale actually, a lot of Bale's attacks, if you're locked onto him, he'll do like spin attacks and stuff to where he like spins around and puts his head back to like face you again, so you can actually hit his head more consistently. And the Bale fight was one of the craziest fights. We'll see later on, but I also included this because like I had to fight Blythe, so.
Ronnie, she needs me.
My homie, Blythe, no. I'm sorry, Blythe. It had to be done. It's kind of an awkward place to be fighting with the stairs and made it a little weird. But... Blythe has a really cool moveset. Like he's humanoid, but he has like his own unique moveset, and the only other enemy you fight is like the other baleful shadow that looks exactly like him, obviously. But it's pretty cool. That move right there that he did was a grab attack. If he had actually bit me there, it would have killed me. Oh, the damage. Oh. Ow. Yeah, you can see like thankfully the second I drink, it gives me the bubble back, basically. Even before my health bar has like visually refilled, it gives me the bubble back. Yeah, killed him in one try. It was sloppy, but I did it. I think what is this? The Godskin Noble? Yeah, this is the Godskin Noble fight, I think. This one was so for most Godskins, the way you want to like cheese them is put them to sleep. I didn't have many pots because I wasn't doing the side dungeons, and I didn't have the materials to make the sleeping pots. So what I did instead was I got Dolores, the summon that shoots sleeping arrows, and I would summon her to have her shoot them and put them to sleep for me. But in order to do it, I'd have to put on like specific talismans to like increase my mana bar just enough. And then you see like I try and switch back because like it makes me take more damage and I don't have my guard like talisman on. But look at that, she immediately puts him to sleep. Look how good that is. See, I'm dumb, and I immediately fuck up what I should have done. I should have put the poison mist right away, not poke him once. But yeah, like, look at the opening. The openings she gives me are so helpful there. Like, I did a quarter of his health before he even got to like hit me once or attack me. They're also they're pretty weak to bleed as well. The Godskin nobles. This move, yeah, this move is super annoying. Like, you can't really block it super well. And then she put him to sleep again. It's pretty handy. She's a really good summon for these guys. But yeah, when you do the block for it, it does like the animation where you roll back and whatnot because like you took like a big hit, but then he'll still be on top of you, So he'll hit you again, and then the second like one will actually hit you, and then you get some iframes while you're knocked down. But if he rolls around and gets to you a third time before you recover, he'll just kill you. So the roll attack is really, really annoying. But yeah, Dolores, she's really good. Dolores is, because she's humanoid, she's a really good summon because she'll actually dodge. The thing about Latenna's also a good summon if you can defend her well. I'm level 1, so it's hard for me to defend her. Latenna does a lot more DPS from range as like a bow type character, but Dolores is an NPC type, so she'll actually roll attacks and try to dodge. Latenna can't dodge, so Dolores came in handy in a lot of different fights. Now here is Rykard. Rykard, of course, you use the Serpent Spear. I went and upgraded the Serpent Spear to level 10 because I thought I actually don't really use it much more at all after this. I thought I might use it more, but it's a great spear, so you can shield poke with it. And it has 0 requirements to use. Because it's like meant for this gimmick fight, there's no requirements to wield it. So most level 1 characters that actually know what they're doing will use this spear. A lot of people do. You can see I fucked up my buffs, but yeah. So I figured I might as well upgrade it completely. I went and got all the upgrades. I got like everything I could, and I just wanted to make this fight as easy as possible. And yeah, level 10 spear definitely makes this a lot easier. I do crazy damage. It's a good thing too, because as you can see, I just missed the fucking like most blatant, easy to dodge hit in existence right there. Also, apparently when you shield poke with it, you attack a lot faster when you're shield poking, so like shield poking is actually really good on this boss. Even though you're shield poking him from like 10 miles away. It's actually really, really strong. It's a miracle I survived that, dude. I really thought that was gonna kill me when that happened. Yeah, I think the reason why is because the projectile, like, does the same amount of stance, like, posture damage, no matter, like, what attack you use. So since you're, like, shield poking, you do it faster, so you stance break him faster. I stance broke him, like, 3 times throughout the fight, which is really, it's really good, like... I also had Dean, and Dean, like, gives you a 20% buff to, for like 30 seconds. It gives you like 20% damage, posture damage, and gives you, I think, stamina regen or something like that. So he's nice for like if you need a buff specifically. Ah yes, Fire Giant. Fuck this guy. God, I hate Fire Giant. Oh my god. I think I had wanted to summon Alexander, but like the problem with whenever you summon Alexander, you can't use Turret. And Fire Giant is so obnoxious because he's another one of these bosses that will just run away for the whole fight, like, or like half the fight. So I pulled out Perfumer Tricia. She's really useful because she gives you a bubble that is essentially like the Opaline heart tier, or bubble tier, where it gives you like 90% reduction on whatever hit like hits you. Because Fire Giant, if he hits you with that big fucking bowl thing in his hands, like directly, it'll just straight up kill you unless you have a bubble. Even if you're using the defense talisman. It does a lot. And so a lot of the fight and a lot of the issue with him is just you just have to keep chasing him. So you need Torrent so you can like keep running after him constantly. And then you kind of want to have the bubble for just in case, like, since you're on his foot, it's really hard to see what animation he's doing or what attack he's doing. So, like, sometimes he'll be, like, doing, like, the slam with that big thing, like the bolt, and I can't see it. But yeah, Tricia here, I'm going to use her a lot. This Perfumer summon, she's a really, really good summon. Because the bubble makes you tank a hit, and it gives you 10% damage while you have the bubble. But it only lasts for like 30 or 40 seconds. But she'll throw multiple throughout the fight. And I use her a lot. Like, she's really good. Especially when you have like other summons, like NPC summons. She'll buff them too. So they'll get to last longer as well. And you'll see I use her during some of the endgame fights. But the main thing with Fire Giant is just get to his feet. Ironically, some of the safest moments is when he does this like big blast like that, where he's like shooting out like fire rocks everywhere. They never land directly on him, so you just stand on top of him and that's your like window to actually hit him. The real problem is when he does like the one that shoots the fire up like this, like directly under you. So you have to like find a safe spot, and then he'll also shoot out the little ball that chases you. And like if he does both at the same time, you have to be moving to dodge the ball, but then you need to not be standing where he's like shooting fire up from the ground. So that can be hard. Whenever he does roll around from like one point of the map to the other, like that, if you're in the wrong spot, that will hit you, and that'll deal damage, and it will kill me, like in one hit. So if he rolls on me, if I'm too close to him, he will kill me from rolling on me. Fire Giant, I think, took me like, I'd say probably 20 plus tries at least. Like, he's really annoying. Like, I think I died to him rolling on me more than anything. Because, like, even his foot right there, you see the foot rolled on top of me? The foot doesn't kill you, but, like, if you're, like, up his, like, thigh, like, near his thigh when he rolls or something like that, that will kill you. It has a hitbox. So, like, you have to be, like, at the very edge of his foot to make sure you don't get hit. Like, this thigh right there, that would have killed me if I didn't roll it. That actually does have a hitbox. And it's kind of deceptive because, like, his ankle, like that little metal part where when he rolls, that doesn't have a hitbox and that doesn't hit you. But his little stub there on his leg does. So yeah, fuck Fire Giant. He was a bitch. he was obnoxious. Oh my god. I hate bosses that run away from you. You know, like the final boss. The bosses that like spend half the fight just running are so annoying. Oh, here we go. Godskin Duo. Man, Godskin Duo can eat my ass. This fight. This fight was so obnoxious. I really wanted to beat it without summoning Bernal. I really wanted to try and beat it without Bernal because Bernal makes the fight like 20 times easier. He's the easy mode of this fight. I got them low. Like, I got them to like 10% health like 5 times in a row. This also took like 20 tries. You can see I'm going through like a fucking script right now of me like running all the way back, summoning, getting my weapon buff, drinking my potion, like doing whatever I need to do in the corner before they reach me. These guys are so annoying because I do so little damage. they would summon each other like 6 times. It's not just 2 Godskin. It's not a Godskin duo. It's a Godskin fucking like hextra, whatever the fuck the word is. Like, I fight like 6 of these bastards because they keep resurrecting each other. Even with Dolores putting them to sleep. And this happening. Look at this. Can you imagine if I didn't have someone distracting the other Godskin while he's doing this so I can dodge the move? The fight would just go on for so long that, like, I would inevitably fuck up. So, like, I had to eventually summon Bernal to just save my sanity. Because, my god, this fight was so annoying. Dude, I had just enough stamina to survive that. If he had broken my shield even a second sooner, that would have killed me. It's so hard to keep track of both of them. Like, look at this. Like, I'm hitting that one, the other one throws a fireball at me. Like, it's such a poorly designed fight. And they nerfed it too, I think. I think they made it so, like, they don't attack at the same time as often. But they certainly still did it a lot, like... I almost died to that the flame tornado as well. You see here, he's summoning the other one when he does that move. And the problem is, like, they'll summon the other one, and the other one will have a full health bar, and sometimes the other one will just... It's RNG when they decide to, like, summon their friend again. So I had multiple times where, like, one would get summoned, and then he would just immediately summon his friend again. Like, so then I'd be back to fighting 2 again. Like, I could never get a moment where I'm just fighting. But see, look at it, he's doing it again already. So I beat one, another one's immediately back and attacking me. It's just... This is why Bernal is so helpful, because Bernal is so obscenely tanky that he can tank them for me. Bernal, no! He died right at the end there. And then, yeah, then even if you kill both of them, and they're both dead at the same time, it'll just spawn another one anyway. So, like, how many did we just kill here? I think we killed like 5 in total. If it were for Bernal helping to kill them faster, there would have been another phase where another comes in because I don't have enough DPS to kill them quickly. So, like, I hate this fight. I hated this fight. It was so frustrating for me to, like, swallow my pride and just be like, fine, I'll fucking summon Bernal. Because I tried so many times without him. Once I did summon Bernal, I beat them in like 2 tries. Like, Bernal really makes the fight that much easier. He's so good. So now, I'm trying to head over to what is his name? Fortisax? The Lich Dragon? But to get there, I had to go through the twin gargoyles, the Valiant Gargoyles. This one was really annoying as well. You can't status affect them because they're statues, and they have a really annoying move. I mean, they have this, where they like do a lot of like large sweeping attacks, but they also have a really annoying move where they shoot poison on the floor, and the poison does like, it has like a hitbox, so it hurts you as the poison is like on the ground. So it's like constantly hurting you and building up the status. And if they did the poison right on top of me, if I'm like too close to them when they do it, it would usually kill me because like I wouldn't be able to get away from it quick enough. And so this fight did take a few tries, and eventually I just summoned D to help me out because, like, that stupid... If the fight went on for too long, which it usually did, he'd do this fucking move right here. You see, like, he immediately... That little tick of damage it did right there, I think, is through my shield. If I had stood there for too long, those ticks would have killed me really, really fast. Dean does pretty well in this fight because he's super mobile and like goes all over the place. and he's buffing me and D, so we were able to stance break faster. Dean and Tricia were like the two summons I probably used the most. No, those two and the no, the one I used the most was definitely the shield guys. The what are they called? The Great Shield Soldiers or whatever. Those guys are heroes, man. The Great Shield guys are like my little buddies, because my god, they actually tank. I tried using these guys too, the Mausoleum Soldiers. Mausoleum Soldiers are nice, but they don't like, they die a lot faster than the Great Shield guys, because, you know, the Great Shield guys actually block. And the Great Shield guys, they do like a roar attack, or like they bang their shield, and banging the shield grabs aggro. So that helps a lot. Most other summons, a lot of bosses will just ignore them and try to murder me anyway. The Great Shield guys are the ones you take out if you want to guarantee that the boss will hit them and not me. So now here I have to fight the NPCs. This fight was kind of weird because, like, anytime I died a few times, and like every time I died, I'm basically doing a new boss fight, because Fia summons NPCs, or players, basically. Anyone that's ever hugged Fia registers their character as a potential summon for Fia to bring into the fight. So every time I'd attempt this fight, I'd be fighting different NPCs, and so it did make it a little difficult. Other than Lionel and D, they were always the same. So since I had to fight 5 fucking NPCs, I just brought in my 5 NPCs and brought in the Mausoleum Soldiers to help me hold off the swarm. Like, but some fights were definitely worse than others. Like, some of the fights were like they would spawn in like people that were using cheese builds that do like a lot of bleed, or like had like great swords with like lion's claw or something, and it would break my shield. There was a lot of really obnoxious fights. The NPC ones really vary. I think I decided not to. Oh, that's right. I couldn't fight the Lich Dragon because I forgot I had to go get the curse mark from Ronnie's body after I did Ronnie's quest line. So this is me going through the tower. This took me a few tries. This took me like 10 tries because I have to fight these stupid finger hands along the way. And these guys hurt because I'm level 1. Then I have this bitch shooting arrows at me, magic arrows, so I can't block them very well, and it's like an explosion, so I can't block it anyway. And then they summon soldiers to attack me too, like, that spawn these little like magic projectiles. So I'm fighting like 3 things at once here. This was so obnoxious to fight. I hate this bitch. Preceptor Miriam, you go fuck yourself. I hate fighting casters in general, but like fighting casters at level 1 are just like 10 times worse. Because you can't block them. You can't block all their hits. I was really trying to like push her off the edge, but it wouldn't let me, so. But look, they're trying to bonk me with their magic stick, so like, I'm just like, okay, no, this is fine, like, keep doing this, like, I'll just keep, I'll trade with you doing this. As long as they're not casting, it's a lot easier, but then they'll teleport away from you and get, like, distance to start casting again, as you can see here. So now I've got to fight the finger crawlers again. I got to keep fighting whatever else is in between us. The good thing that block actually worked. Sometimes that projectile, like, if it hits the floor, the explosion will kind of hit under your shield and hit you anyway. I've had it happen a couple of times. So, like, me blocking there was kind of a gamble, because, like, if the block didn't block it correctly, that could have killed me. Freedom from that evil mage. God, I hate that stupid mage. And then I had to fight another godskin on the way. I did die, I think, like once or twice, because I fucked up the roll attack. It's always the roll attack with the fat ones. Oh, and this move. Sometimes I'll do this like on top of him, and if I'm in a bad angle, I'll just get burned alive. You can see I'm just I'm not standing close enough because the sword is so tiny. Here comes the roll. See, the only way to block it successfully like this is I need to have, like, nothing behind me. Because see, he quickly turned. Like, if he reaches me before the animation is complete, he'll hit me. But if there's enough space behind me, he'll roll through me, and then I'll be able to complete the animation, get up, and then block the next, like, roll attack. But if I'm against a wall or, like, I'm too close to something, he'll, like, bounce off the wall and hit me quicker. So you can block it, it's just really unreliable. Thankfully this area was kind of open, so it made it a lot easier. In the Godskin duo fight, it was a lot worse. Because there's so many, like, pillars and, like, things that they'll get stuck on or bounce off of. So now I'm going into Fia's dream to go fight the Lich Dragon Fortisax. I always fight this boss super late. I feel like this boss is, like, meant to be fought like 50 levels earlier than whenever I usually fight him. I'm always super late to the fight here. But now I'm level 1. But my weapon is pretty, like, I think my weapon's, like, maxed out at this point, since I've already fought the Godskin duo and everything. The main thing that was actually a threat to me is obviously the lightning damage, since we're in a lot, there's, like, water on the floor, so the lightning kind of spreads out a lot. And then the Death Blight was really annoying, because, like, when you're level 1 you don't have a lot of resistance, so Death Blight will proc very quickly on you. Look at how much HP I just survived with there from that hit. I barely lived right there. This is the worst dragon type too. The ancient dragons, like any of them, I hate them. Because you can't lock onto their foot either. You can only lock onto their head. And then their head is always out of reach like 90% of the fight. So it's like such an obnoxious, like, design. And you see, like, whenever there's, like, lightning on my body, it's like there's, like, a countdown until, like, a little lightning strike hits, like, right where I'm standing. So I had, right there, you see, like, a little, it's like a small one. It won't kill me, but, like, I have to make sure I'm not gonna get hit, so my bubble is up every single time that little lightning strike happens. Because, like, it's really hard to time it and dodge it. I don't know how that didn't hit me. You could clearly see my head was just in the red line there, but... the hitbox on this is a kind of a weird one. Dean was really the hero of this fight, though. Oh, yep, and there it is, finally. See, I get hit twice. If I don't drink every single time I get hit by that thing, I will die on the next one. I can only tank one. So, but thankfully, I killed him right before I died. So, I think it only took me like... I think it only took me 1 or 2 tries to beat him, though, thankfully. It's kind of annoying, but, like, a lot of the time he does, like, attacks that are, like, big AoEs rather than focusing on you specifically.
Take a good long look.
So.
See the wrath of the Golden Order.
And having Dean distract him also helped. And then D here kills Fia, so I'm just like, alright, might as well get revenge. Fuck him.
Of the Golden Order and murderer of my brother. Die. Die.
Yeah, pretty much your revenge.
Die. I'll grind your corpse into that vile wench's rot.
Uh-huh, yep. Whatever you say, D. Good talk, D. Goodbye, D.
Forgive me. Sorry.
So yeah, got rid of him as well. Oh boy, here we go. Moog. Oh, Moog. Okay, so... but the fight's gonna go a little fast, so that's why I'm gonna pause it here. Moog, I know there's a way to, like, fully script Moog to where, like, he never gets to attack back, essentially, or, like, gets, like, for, like, 90% of the fight, he doesn't do anything. He's just, like, casting the knee heal thing. I don't have enough damage to do it. Maybe I could have if I were, like, buffing, but when I'm doing a boss fight and I've died like 50 times, because I died a lot to Moog, when I'm dying so many times, sitting there buffing only to walk into a boss fight and then die within 10 seconds is the most demoralizing thing I can think of. It is so frustrating. It's like donning an entire suit of armor for like half an hour. You step into the ring to fight and they just kick you in the balls because you forgot to armor that spot and you just instantly lose. Like, that's what it feels like every single time. It's so frustrating. Like, it's just so awful. So like 90% of the fights I just stopped buffing, or I would do very minimal amounts of buffs. But if I were to do like every single buff, I probably could have done this in like one phase or like in one go, but I get really close and you'll see like how close I get. I do have to fight him a little bit, but after so many attempts I like started to get the script down, kind of. So you use the chain, so you like push him down to the ground, so that way he can't fight. He gets up, you do it again, or you let him do his little like trace duo thing. See, like, you're essentially trying to stance break him as quickly as possible. But what you want to do is you also want to get the second one right before he can finish the cast. I don't remember if I get it. Do I manage it? I don't think I manage it. You can get it you can do it twice where you throw him on the floor. Sadly, I didn't succeed. So I'm just wailing on him. You see how much damage I'm doing? I stance break him again. Tricia, she's throwing the bubbles on me that gives me bonus damage and defends me so I don't die instantly. Thank God she did too, because look, he has a sliver of health and he broke out. He escaped. He's escaped containment.
I can see it. As clear as day. The coming of...
Anytime he escaped the chain, I would usually die. So thank God he had such little health left there. Because it's so hard to fight him legitimately on level 1 because of all the blood he throws everywhere. Because it all does damage on the floor and it does bleed build up. It's... oh my God. But yeah, the fight went by really fast. But that's me. That's the successful attempt. There was like 50 other attempts before this of me dying over and over and over. Oh my god, it was so awful. And now for the fire golems. I did fight a few of them. I don't think I fought all of them, but I fought a few. I don't think I recorded all of them. I just recorded the first one because this took me. This took like a dozen tries trying to figure out what to do for it. This fight was really hard to figure out because he does the 1-2 step, like where like he does like fire on the ground and you could just jump over it. But whenever he does the attack that's like both of them, where he does like the double jump, it does a blast in the middle and it does a blast on the floor. So you can't jump that one. So anytime he'd do the double jump, I would die because I can't dodge it, and my little bubble, like my the talisman, isn't enough to survive. I tried putting the talisman with the fire talisman as well, and that didn't work either. So I tried to get as much fires as possible. None of it would work. Probably if I had just waited and went and got all the like the Skadu tree fragments and then tried this fight, I would have been able to survive. But I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to get all of them. So what I ended up doing is, you'll see he does do it eventually. This fight goes on for a while because it's such a slow, obnoxious, horrible, stupid fight. I hate this design. You have to stance break him 6 times so you could punch him in the face twice. Could split this commentary up into its own little YouTube recordings and just do intro outro. I mean, that's basically, I'm probably just gonna post this VOD on YouTube because I'm too lazy to edit it. Editing takes like rendering this video took like 4 hours for this almost 3-hour long video. It's very slow. That's why. That's why I'm doing the comment. We're doing it live because it's easier to then just do it live and then download it off Twitch and then upload that. And I'm lazy. But yeah, so what I end up doing is I have to like, I decided I'd have to block it. So whenever here it is, the double jump, I pull out my shield and I fucking tank that shit. I just, even though it completely breaks my stamina, with my bubble on, the talisman, and the shield blocking, even when your stamina's broken, you still block the hit. It's only the follow-up hit that's the problem, if it's like a chain. So since it's like one big blast, I would literally just tank it. So as long as he didn't do this attack more than 12 times, or 11 times, however many flasks I have, I would be able to do it. So I'm just like, alright, well, here we go again. just tank this shit. It's such a scuffed way of doing this, but it worked. And that's what matters, as long as it worked. The only reason why I wanted to kill this one is because I wanted the deflecting tier, because I thought I might be able to use it. It might come in handy for like boss fights later. Turns out I don't even really use it that much. But I did the fight, so I figured I might as well include it. There were a couple other ones I killed. I think that there's the one that was for like the spirit ashes get increased damage. I did do that one later on. So when I got to the DLC, my first objective was to collect like every single Scooby fragment that I could find before fighting like anything. So I did do like a couple. I had to go through this dungeon to get to the to like a bunch of the other areas of the southern part of the map. So I had to fight Ancient Dragon Man here, and you could see like As long as I kept poking him, I'd cancel his attack animation every time. This still took like 7 tries or something, because like if he ever did break through or I mistimed it, he would break my shield really, really fast, and then he just like, whenever you're fighting an NPC and your shield breaks, they can do a critical hit on you. So you never want your shield to break against an NPC, because as soon as it breaks, they just instantly crit you and kill you instantly. So, but it was kind of funny doing this, like seeing this, where it's like, as long as I keep poking him, he doesn't get to attack. But then my stamina's really low, so if he does get an attack off, it's gonna kill me, so I really had to hope for the best. This is such a dumb fight. This is so stupid. Like all my deaths were just because like I would mistime it, or like he would get a hit in right when I ran out of stamina. So now here's one of the first bosses. It's the Dancing Beast Lion. Dancing Beast Lion is a lot easier when you have like, I think I was like level 13 or 14 on the Shadow Tree fragments at this point. That's a lot higher than most people are. Most people are not that, are like maybe like level 4 when they fight this boss for the first time. So I was doing some crazy damage. And I had Freya helping me tank, and I had Dean spazzing all over the place, buffing us both. Like now the most logical thing to do for this fight is what I'm doing here. Poison him, rot him before he's in phase 2. As soon as he gets into phase 2, run away. Especially Lightning Phase. Lightning Phase is so obnoxious and has so much AoE and shit everywhere that the best thing for Lightning Phase is to just don't fight during Lightning Phase. This one wasn't as bad because it's like physical damage, the wind attacks, so I can actually block them. Frost Phase hurts though. Yeah, see, even the tornado, I can block it. Thankfully, all these wind attacks are fully physical damage, so I can actually tank it. Or, like, shield through it. And then he goes Frost Phase, and I'm like, alright, well, I guess I'll just sit back here and watch the summons do the work. He's rotted right now, I think. Maybe I'll try and get a poke in here or there. But, like, yeah. Thankfully, he was really low by this point, so it wasn't that long. Also, the helmet I'm wearing is one of the new helmets added in there. Where it's from, I had to farm it from one of those stupid dancer guys. It gives you 5 dexterity, so it basically freed up a talisman slot, so I could wear this helmet and then also wield the Anspur rapier without a talisman. So these helmets were really, really helpful. This helmet, and then there's a +5 strength one as well. The downside is they reduce your flask. Like how much it heals you, but when I'm level 1 it doesn't matter, because like no matter what, the flask will full heal me. So Ralana, this fight's gonna go a little quickly and it's gonna be really stupid. Ralana took me, I'd say like maybe 10 to 20 attempts. The main issue was like all the magic shit she throws out and all like the projectiles she does, and like her because my shield can't block it all very well, and my summons would die really fast too, except for one summon. One summon would circle her and hold her in place. And that would give me a really good opportunity to get some damage in. I still fuck this up a lot. You see immediately I get hit. But the Great Shield soldiers are such heroes. Oh my god, this is disgusting what happens here. Like, I felt bad. Look at how they, like, encircle her to where she doesn't get to like move as much. She's kind of like focused on it. And then I close in on like any gap, and we're just all beating the shit out of her from like every corner and angle. And the best way to deal with phase 2 is to not do phase 2. So as soon as she starts her like animation to switch into phase 2, I pull out the star fist and try and stance break her as quickly as humanly possible to like burn through her HP. So you see, like I immediately stance break her when she goes into phase 2 and just keep wailing on her. Look how low she is now. And from this point on, she's still trying to kill these fuckers that are just circling. She's fucking stuck and can't get out, and they're just beating her to death. Dude, like they did like probably half the boss's health because she never got like to move. Like one of the hardest things about this boss is that she dances around you a lot. Like whenever I was fighting her one-on-one, she does like this move where she like dashes to the side and like goes around you, and like your character doesn't respond quickly enough to like swing the shield around, so she'd like jump around you and like hit you before you could like turn and block her. So the best way to fight her was to just have her get encircled by summons so she couldn't fucking move and just die. It was so funny. I was laughing my ass off after that fucking fight. Oh my god. Man, fuck this stupid hippo, man. I don't remember why I decided to use the club. I think it might be because he was like weak to the club's damage or something. And he was weak to fire damage. That's one of the things. And the club like was one of my higher damaging things that it fired. I do pretty awful in this fight, to be honest. Like you see, I'm getting hit left and right like crazy here. But this was a successful attempt, so. I think it's just because I wanted a weapon that would like swing really, really fast, and the club swings really fast. It's like one of the fastest swinging weapons. But man, I get hit like every single time, Jesus. My Great Shield soldiers really are carrying me through this. Hardest boss of your Jarbarian run. I wouldn't say he was the hardest, but he was really annoying. He definitely was super, super annoying. Oh, they actually like they got a frost proc off the little summons. That's another thing the Great Shield soldiers do, is like so they throw like little like they fight with the shield, and then sometimes they'll throw like frost, like ghost flame pots basically, and ghost flame does frost damage, so they can sometimes proc frost as well. But man, I get hit so much during this fight. I use up like almost all of my flasks. This was like such a scuffed, horrible run, and somehow this was the one that ended up succeeding. Oh yeah, that helps a lot too. I got a stance break. I think that was the thing I was trying to do with the hammer. I think it was because I was trying to guard counter, but like I could never time it right. Because when you use a hammer, you guard counter with a hammer. You do like the most poise damage of like most weapons. Like it's one of the fastest, highest damaging ones. But yeah, that fight was annoying. I remember that one took me like 10 tries or so. Is this Rakshasa? Yeah. So I go to Rakshasa here because I want her armor. Because it gives every armor piece gives you 2% more damage. You also take 2% more damage, or you have like less defense stats, but I'm level 1, who cares? I already die in like 1 hit, so. I remember she took a few tries because like the sword, as you can see, does blood loss. And they also did like, whenever they do the wide sweeping, like their Ash of War attack, it like eats up your stamina really, really fast. I think the reason why I used lightning damage was because it was the weakest resistance they had. Yeah, you see, even when they're like, I'm blocking, I'm still taking bleed damage. And it's really annoying. Because sometimes they would just never stop attacking, and like, if they did the combo for too long, I'd run out of stamina and they'd break my shield and I'd die. Or they'd hit me so many times that I'd get bled, and then they would just keep attacking, and then I'd get bled again, and like I couldn't get a window to heal, and then I would die. So it took a few attempts. It took forever. This was such like an endurance test here, like. It's so funny when I block an attack like that, or how they even get off that attack. Like, you see the sword is like sticking through my body, but I blocked it. But it's because it's just such a huge sword, the animation as it going through me. Yeah, this really was like a battle of attrition, like, because like blocking, I just kept getting bled. I got bled so many times throughout this fight, you see. So I just have to keep drinking. And I have to beat them before I run out of drinks. Thankfully, she only gets 1, so. That almost got me killed. Yeah, NPC fights were really annoying in the early parts. Before I got like specific weapons or like figured out how to cheese them, because I did later learn like some methods to deal with NPCs, and you'll see later on. But I don't even think those methods would work on these guys, because these guys are considered like bosses and ghosts. I don't think they stagger exactly the same way. I'm not sure. One of the ways was like using like Giant Hunt, where like you could like chain knock them up over and over. But I don't remember. I don't think it worked on this boss specifically, though. Yeah, that's true, Zoe. This fight goes on for so long. Oh my god. But you can see like how long I was at it for. Like, she's so tanky. And it's such an obnoxious fight, and I can't summon during it either. So I just have to be patient. It's just battle of attrition, war of attrition. I just have to keep sitting here, waiting for my stamina to fill up all the way. Then I get my little window to attack. Back up, rinse, repeat. Took forever. But this armor set came in handy. I used it a lot of different fights, like some of the pieces. I probably never really used all of it, except for a couple fights, like this one. But, yeah. Oh, this one. Oh my god. This fight. Just look at this fight, alright? This fight, I beat it in like, I think my first try when I first did this on my normal playthrough. But I heard a lot of people complain about this fight, and I've seen a lot of people like bitch about it, and I completely understand why, because I'm about to bitch about it. Oh my god, this bitch, she's like all of the things I hate the most in any boss fight. She summons mobs, lots of them, lots of like little NPCs around, so you have to deal with all of those. She casts spells from afar, and so she like she constantly is like shooting projectiles at you, and she teleports away constantly. It's like the trifecta of the most annoying shit ever in a boss fight. And she spawns shit on top of you for her projectiles like that, so you have to keep moving constantly. This fight, I barely win this. I did this like this took me like a dozen tries, and I barely get through this one. And it's a fucking miracle that I do. Like that, I was shocked that I even managed it. So I summon my little army to help me out because like she summons her own eventually. She's really weak to fire damage, so that's why I'm trying to buff with fire and whatnot. Every time she teleports, she does damage, so I have to drink. Then she'll just randomly summon things as well, like that fat guy jumps on me. And eventually she'll start bringing in smaller people. And since she does like all holy damage, it pierces through my little shield guys' defenses a lot, so she kills them pretty fast too. And look at that. That fat guy breathing fire just like wiped out half of my army. And then here comes the squad of her own. Look at this! 5 summons of her own! Thankfully they disappear like after they do an attack or two, but like she'll do it like over and over. Sometimes she'll just spam it like constantly. See? She's in the middle of an attack, and yet she still does the ring and summons them, even though she's like mid-attack. So now I've got these things spawning on me, trying to attack me, and she's still doing the projectiles. So I had to start like hit and running, basically. You see me here, like, I'm running around. Look, she's attacking, and they still just spawn. How did she ring her bell? I don't fucking know. So I feel like I'm playing fucking Toho over here. Look at how much health I have left. I just barely survived. I'm like just trying to sprint, dodge everything, and get to her. Like just reaching her is so difficult. So I literally like, I'm just trying to run up, jump, smack her once, keep running. Smack her once, keep running. This becomes a fucking like hit and run. Like this is ridiculous. I felt so overwhelmed in this fight. Like, oh my god. I think I had such an easier time on my first run because I was collecting all the Scattershoe fragments and stuff. So I was like really strong. And I had, but man, like when I'm level 1, this is so awful. I'm out of flasks, by the way. Look at that. Look at that. One hit was all it would have taken. One big hit. I had no flasks left. I was out of everything. And I got her. I barely got her. Oh my god. I had to just be like bobbing and weaving, fucking dodging, getting behind those gravestones because they would block the hits. The projectiles. Oh my lord. God, that fight was such a nightmare. I was so happy that that was probably like one of my most like happiest I was about winning a fight. Since I had like no flasks left, I was one hit. had to fight this stupid guy on the way over to Midra's mansion. I ended up using the flask because, or not the flask, the hammer, because you see he's trying to do the special attack where he hits you with his frenzy flame hand. If he had hit me with that, it would kill me instantly, basically, if he hits me with it, because it immediately procs frenzy. So, or madness, whatever. So, I had to use something that was faster than him, so that's why I used the club. I just kept bonking him so he couldn't get an attack off. Eventually I did backtrack to go do this. I think I backtracked here because I wanted to get the Great Shield talisman for defense and some other talismans and stuff. Because I never went to the Halig tree. I was saving it for later. So, Commander Niall, whatever, I hate this guy because, again, one of the staples of an annoying boss is he summons minions, and they focus. You see how they just ran through my minions to reach me? So I had to like summon my own little army and hope that they would distract them long enough and like live long enough for me to fight. I also had to summon them in that corner there because if I summoned them in front of the fog gate, they would try and fight the enemies that were spawning behind me, and they wouldn't even fight the boss, and then they'd all just die. There was a lot of like things I had to do like specifically to try and like do this. Because for whatever reason, the stupid soldiers would always focus me and ignore my summons. So I just needed my summons to distract the boss long enough for me to kill the two other guys. And then I could begin the boss fight. But over on Niall has a pretty slow and like really telegraphed attacks a lot of the time, so he wasn't too bad. It just took a bit of time. You just had to make sure you do not stand on top of him when he does this move too much, because like, or whenever he does like the sweeping frost attack, because if he frost bit me, like that could get me killed. But other than that, it wasn't so bad. Alright, while this plays real quick, I'll be right back. Okay, sorry. I had to AFK real quick. Yeah. So basically, I mean, what's her face here is just it's Loretta. It's exactly the same as the other one, but she just has like a little bit more moves. The hardest part actually was getting to her. I think I beat Loretta in like one try, but reaching her was the hard part because you had to run through the Halleck tree, and there's like these two battle mages that are posted up right before her arena, and they would both cast fucking explosion spells at like different times, and sometimes they do it at the same time, just like slightly delayed, so it was impossible to dodge it. You dodge one explosion or through it, and then the other one would blow up right on top of you as you're mid dodge, and it would kill you. Oh my god, I died like 5 times just trying to get to her. Getting to her was the hard part of this fucking fight. Oh my lord, it was obnoxious. But she's like essentially exactly the same as the other one. It's just she has like some slightly powered up moves. But yeah, now I'm back. Oh. I think, is this one of the catacomb guys? I think this is one of them I fought because I wanted to get the talisman. Yeah, it is. This is just me bullying him, really, like with the summons. The main thing to worry about was just his grab attack. If he ever grabbed me, I'd die instantly, which I think is what killed me. Like, I died to him, I think, like twice, and it was just because of the stupid grab attack. And you see, sometimes he'll like lose aggro off of them and then like try to dash to me. Yeah, I wanted to get the that's what it was. I wanted to get the Crimson Amber Medallion because I wanted to I think this was when I was fighting Midra or someone. I was trying to like piece together a build that would let me summon Mimic Tear to see how he would do. Little did I realize Mimic Tear also copies like my health, so he is like stupidly squishy. But I wanted to see if it was possible, and it is. And with some certain builds, Mimic Tear's still pretty good because like he'll like cast spells like that you do or something like that. But yeah, Mimic Tear, not really the move exactly. Oh hey Rio, you finally made it. We're nearing the end actually, or we're pretty far in. We're getting to the harder bosses. This thing was super annoying, and that's why I recorded, because of the stupid Death Blight. I had to like wear every fucking Death Blight resistant armor and like talisman I could find to like not die instantly from it. And then have my little minions distract him in the meantime. Lightning damage is the first thing I think of when fighting comes to Death Knight. Yeah, I don't know why they chose that, but it is what it is. Couldn't keep audio on because I was hanging with Brian. He hasn't done all the DLC. Oh. Yeah, there's gonna be spoilers, alright. I'm gonna be going in depth about the stupidity of some of these bosses. I think I was going through this area. Why was I here? Oh my god. I think I was trying to do Alexander's quest. That's what it is. I wanted to do Alexander's quest line so I could get the shard. And in his quest line, he's here at the volcano or like in the lava. And I had to kill this thing to get to him. Yeah, it was to get Alexander. This is one of the moments when I realize Ice Spear is crazy. I wish I was using Ice Spear earlier, Dude, this Ash of War is actually busted. Like, I'm not even kidding. This is probably, and I would say it's one of the top 5 most powerful Ashes of War in the entire game. Because not only is it a projectile, so you get to be at range, it does frost, so it does a lot of frost. It builds up frost really fast. It scales really well with your magic damage, and it scales off your weapon damage. So I'm level 1 and I'm doing this much damage, and each one does 25 stance damage. To give you like perspective, a fully charged heavy attack does like 30 to 40 stance damage. So that projectile you're yeeting out really fast, you're essentially throwing heavy attacks. Like, so it's really strong. And I started using once I used it in that fight, I realized how strong it was, and I started using it a lot more. Like, I was like, oh yeah, this is gonna carry me. And then I'm killing Alexander to get the 15% extra damage on top of that.
Victory
Oh boy.
was impossible. My thanks. I knew you were the stuff of champions. It was a marvelous battle.
It depends on the fight though. Some bosses it doesn't work very well on, like unfortunately some of the endgame bosses. Or one of the endgame bosses it works really well. But others not so much.
The great Alexander lived as a warrior to his last.
Basically any boss that isn't like on crack cocaine and just fucking spazzing all over the place, the ice spear is really, really good. Unfortunately, there's like 3 or 4 very specific endgame bosses that are constantly like fucking off the wazoo on Adderall and just spazzing everywhere. So can't use it on them, but this boss is a perfect example of a boss you can use it on. You're gonna see. Oh, Gaius, you poor soul. Look at the damage I am doing here. 2,500 damage per hit. All while he's distracted. He gets stance broken and only 4 hits from it. Because most bosses have 80 to 120 stance, stance. Each one of these is doing 25. So 4 hits will break like most bosses' stance, and any others will take 6 about. So it's fucking crazy. Look how much damage I've done like already. Oh, it's amazing. And it scales mostly off of your weapon level, not like your stats. So even at level 1, you can do this much damage. It does scale a bit off of your stats, but like the majority of the damage is off the weapon level itself. So you can be a full Unga Bunga build or strength or dexterity, and you'll still do a shitload of damage using this thing. Like, oh my god, I deleted him. Once I started using this, it only took me like, I think 3 or 4 tries to beat him. The hardest part was just his gravity attacks would sometimes hit me. Oh, is this what I think it is? Oh boy. Alright. This was the first trial. This was my first. This was almost my what the fuck, my 13th reason. Like, this was almost it to make me give up this run. Oh my god, I think this probably took me almost 100 tries. You're gonna see this fight goes really fast because this became like a script. This became like a rehearsal that I done the routine dozens upon dozens of times. All I had to do was not fuck up. It's really hard for me to not fuck up. If you've ever seen my streams, I fuck up a lot. So the flower is very obviously super weak to fire damage. There's a couple problems with this flower though. One, he shoots out these long distance thorn attacks that do bleed. You're gonna see here in a second if he does it. Is he gonna do it? Oh no, he went to melee first. there's also how much damage I'm doing. This is another reason why this is so frustrating. I just did half of his health in one hit. Can you imagine doing half of a boss's health in one hit, and yet you still die thousands, like dozens of times because you can't dodge his attacks reliably enough? He throws out a lot of thorns, and the thorns will like, it's a huge AoE, and it's really hard to time the dodge for them because sometimes they're kind of inconsistent, and they do bleed. So that's problem number one. Problem number two is he shoots out projectiles that like follow you, and if you're in a bad position, it's almost impossible to dodge them sometimes. Problem number where I already lost count. Next problem is he has 3 phases, so he comes back to life over and over and over. So you have to keep fighting him. And then the final problem is in his final phase, he does this huge holy explosion that has 2 like parts to it essentially, like, or maybe it's 2 parts, maybe it's because like multiple projectiles, I don't know. You have to be like fucking pinpoint precise with the dodge timing to dodge it, otherwise it would kill me instantly every single time. I would, the thing that I would do to try and get through it is I would use the bubble to like block it, but the attack has to have 2 projectiles because sometimes the explosion will go off, it would pop my bubble and then kill me anyway. So like, so the explosion in his 3rd phase was so obnoxious and like was literally gatekeeping me. Like I literally could not beat him because I could not get through that stupid fucking explosion. And I don't know what happens during this fight. I do really poorly during this run, to be honest. You see I immediately get hit. But I still managed to beat him during this fucking attempt, finally. So, every time he goes to half health, he always does this. Every single time he is to half health, he does this little projectile thing. I just gave up trying to dodge it because I would, like, a lot of the time I could never dodge it reliably. So I just run behind this tree. I love how the one moment I get hit by like everything is when I succeed here. I also have the little imp like shooting fireballs because you see how much damage the imp's doing. He's doing a shitload of damage. I'm not even using a real weapon. I'm just using Flame of the Redmanes on a dagger to kill him. Like the sword I have on my back is Freya's sword. I went and killed Freya just to get her sword because her sword buffs Flame of the Redmanes by 10%. So like that's part of why I'm doing so much damage. My itty bit of health there barely survived it. Look at this, I still, see, even when I roll like 2 of them that were coming toward me, the 3rd one sometimes like angles awkwardly and hits me anyway. And for a giant fucking flower, he can move really fast sometimes. And now here it is, 3rd phase. The Big Mouth Imp, I think this is the only fight I actually got to really use him. I tried to use him during the Millennia fight. He's good there too, but only in a normal circumstance. This move, this. Like, I think this explosion that it's shooting out right here, this like big thing, counts as a hit. And then there's these beams as well, as you can see here. You have to like dodge perfectly to go through both of them, which I somehow managed to do here. Because if you get hit by one, the other is gonna hit you too. So like, I would originally, what I was trying to do multiple times was I would drink the bubble tier so I could tank try to tank the hit, but I guess the first explosion would pop the tier and then the beam would hit me after the tier got popped and kill me instantly. There was nothing I could like come up with to make me tanky enough to live. But this time I perfectly rolled it somehow because my bubble's still intact, you can see. And of course the imp steals the hit, the final hit, but whatever. Look at this little fucker, this little imp. It just comes in the camera. Yeah, that was all me. I did it. Yeah, Sunflower used Solar Beam and it nukes me from orbit. For real, that move was like the thing I had to get through. I died so many times to just that one move. I couldn't, like, I don't know why suddenly I was able to dodge it well. I tried dodging it every single time with the bubble on, and every time I would still die anyway. Like, it would just kill me. I don't know what it was, but for some reason RNGesus finally blessed me there and let me pass. But my god, that flower took me at least 100 tries. At least. I was there for like 8 hours fighting that boss. It was insane. Like, oh my god. And just imagine, like, every single attempt only was like 2 minutes long or something, because the boss, I did like half the boss's health bar every hit. In contrast, this one only took me like 4 tries, like, because I know how to counter this one. He's extremely weak to holy damage. So I did what I did on stream, where I just brought out Sacred Blade or Shared Order or whatever, and then you just do shit tons of damage. I had to be very like careful though, because like he attacks very fast and has a lot of like dashing moves. So I had to be like, I had to like very patiently wait for like openings that I knew he would take a while to recover from and then attack, or wait until he was like distracted attacking one of the NPCs or my summon. See, like that, like I had to like wait, just because like if he ever hit me at all, I would just die. And then there's this like the blue flame, the frost damage. I could try to, you see I just tried to block it there. It did like a big chunk even with my bubble on and the shield. You can't block all of it. If you try to block all of it, you'll die. You'll get frostbite and the magic damage does too much. So I had to like jump over at least part of it. I saw some people say they really don't like this boss, but overall, like, I think he's all right. Like, I mean, especially as long as you use a holy weapon against him, like, he's really easy. Like, you'll kill him very fast. By the way, thank God for Trissa right there. Tricia just saved me. I don't know if you guys saw it. Look closely at what just happened right there. I got my shield broken and I took damage from the magic hit, so my bubbles popped. So I'll die in one hit. Like, one hit will kill me. But see, that hit me, the magic, and it pops the first bubble I have, even through my shield. So I'm blocking, I get frostbite, and and it pumps my shield. So like everything I have is like down. Like I am extremely vulnerable here, and he immediately jumps on me. Trissa throws another bubble on top of me. New bubble right there, right as he breaks my shield, and I get hit. That would have killed me 100% if Tricia hadn't bubbled me. She's a fucking hero. She is like one of my favorite summons in the game after this fucking playthrough. She's so helpful. Those bubbles, man. Actual hero. And she helps your other allies, like any other summons you have, like NPC summons, because she gives them bubbles too. So yeah, she literally saved my life right there. I would have died if not for her. She's super, super useful. And she has like a shield, and she blocks like a lot of the time. It's a really shitty shield, and she gets stance broken really easily. But as long as you're like holding aggro, she'll live a lot longer than you'd expect too. Oh, this is an example of me cheesing a boss. This one was kind of funny. This stupid worm, I was like, no, there is no way I'm going to fight this fucking scarlet rot worm in a lake of rot. Like, I hate these worms as it is, so I literally just stood here and casted fireball until he fucking died. I have no shame for doing this. I am not ashamed in the slightest bit. I'm even gonna jump forward a little bit. I literally just stood here casting fireball over and over for like 3 minutes. I just wanted to include it because of how dumb it was. But yeah, I was doing this because I had to kill Millicent to get the arm. I should have killed her earlier, to be honest. Like, I feel bad doing it, especially this far into the quest line. But I had to kill her because I needed the talisman for the extra dexterity. Because it gives you +5, and I had totally forgotten that it did that until this late in the game. So that's why I just came over and murdered Millicent. I also just casted fireball on her for the whole fight. I do so little damage. I should have switched weapons. I don't know why I decided to keep using the fireball the whole time, but I mean, it is what it is. Yeah, I've heard about that, Zui, where you throw the, yeah, just throw shit at the boss over a wall. There's a few cheesy strats I use, to be honest. You'll see later on for a few bosses. This went on for so long because of the fact that for whatever reason I just wanted to use this fireball. I think it was because I like spec'd like all my gear to let me use this fireball to kill that stupid worm, and then I didn't want to go back and switch my gear and then come back again to then fight Millicent. That's probably why. Kind of dumb, but I threw. Oh, did I run? Oh yeah, I ran out of mana, so I threw a frostbite to kill her. That's so stupid. That's so dumb. Oh my god, I forgot I did that. But yeah, that's why I needed the prosthesis. I could have killed her so long ago, but I advanced her quest all the way to here for some reason. I don't know why. I forgot. I guess I forgot. Why is this recording still here? I think it was because I was trying to see like if I could interact with the flower, and no, you cannot. So. Oh yeah, I also wanted to get the Great Jars Arsenal, so in order to do that I had to do the stupid NPC fight. And oh my god, doing this at level 1, this was such a demoralizing fight, because like, the run back, you have to run through the stupid 2 golems that shoot arrows at you. I had to kill one of the golems too, like every single time on the run back, and I attempted this like 20 times. Oh my god, it was so frustrating, because like, it's RNG who you fight against. And some people have builds that are so obnoxious and hard to deal with that I eventually just resorted to cheese. And so here's one of the ways you can cheese NPCs. Giant hunt. You just spam giant hunt. If you time it correctly, you can literally giant hunt them forever until they die. Like, obviously it's kind of hard for me because I don't have enough stamina, and what do you call it, and mana to like do it enough until they fully die, but it worked. Oh, that almost killed me. Look at that. If I hadn't put that bubble on, that talisman, oh my god. Like, look at these crazy ass mage spam builds, like all kinds of magic. Thankfully, he kept randomly like spawning the stupid Terra Magica under him over and over, and that that would give me some windows to get in. But I couldn't. It's hard to tell what he's doing. Like, I don't know like what spell he's casting when he does like the animation. Giant hunt, giant hunt, giant hunt. Just keep going. It doesn't work very well if the enemy has a ton of poise though, but thankfully all three of these targets had very low poise. Or I don't even know if it's the poise that counts. I think it's just a matter of timing. Sometimes I would fuck up the timing and get killed. This guy had like instant death on his sword. Look at that. He Royal Knights resolved his blade. I could not let that thing touch me. If that thing touched me, I would die. But yeah, it worked out. Giant hunt. Giant hunt's pretty good. This we did this live. I think he got stunned. Oh, that.
This creature, embrace thine oblivion. Shall
I'm covering up my PNG behind me, but you guys were here. I did these parts live, so I included it where I fought Mesmer. And I was using the Thorn sorcery, so I'll just be quiet and let it play. You can hear me spamming space. I can't roll, dude. That's the one downside to this spell. You're such a sitting duck. Oh, it takes so long to roll out of it. I only used the spell like a couple more times after this because I couldn't use it for other bosses. This is really just a game of like praying for RNG. I just have to hope that he doesn't decide to come murder me instantly. Yes. Oh, nope. Hey, buddy. No. No. There you go. Exactly. Oh, he's currently impaling Hornsent. Wow, that's unfortunate. Alright, now we go. Okay. Dude, I don't think any of these are hitting because he's just jumping all over the place. Oh my god, let's go! How did I die? So now I know how I died. He spawned a snake. Literally as he was dying, he spawned one of his fucking snakes. It killed me. Looking like this top corner right here. Oh my god, let's go! Literally as he died. What? Oh, did I just kill myself? Oh no no! Please die! Die faster! Die faster, please! Yes! Did I kill myself with the spell? We did it! I really did know. I thought I killed myself, but no, because like I looked away when he finally died. I wasn't looking. I was so excited that I finally killed him. I didn't even notice what killed me. Oh my god. So they did nerf that spell, by the way. While I was like after this stream, with like a few days after this stream, they finally nerfed that spell. You know, a month or so or more after the DLC had come out, like they finally nerfed it. I don't know why they didn't nerf it in the first patch. They did a big update to like fix the perfume and all that, but then they never nerfed the spell. But they did nerf the spell finally. The spell does less bleed buildup now, and it does like a lot less damage. But they also improved the tracking, because like you saw like during that fight, a lot of the time only one of like the 3 things would actually hit, but it did a lot of bleed buildup, so it was still good. Even if only one hit. But now like all 3 kind of converge and hit the target more easily. The thing that was really busted about it is whenever you use the spell at close range, if you use the spell at close range, all 3 would hit instantly, all at the same time, multiple times, and like it would do a shitload of bleed. It would do like 600 plus bleed buildup or something, which is an insane amount, and almost always instantly bleed someone. I never really did it at close range because I would die instantly. I'm level 1. And so I'm already doing a lot less damage than most people. 2, I'll die in 1 hit, so I don't want to be standing on top of things. And 3, I'm a little bitch, so I don't want to be close to the boss when casting it. So I always wanted to cast it from far away. So honestly, I feel like the way I was using it from a distance probably is about as strong as it is now. If you use it at like point blank range, because like it's still strong, it's still really good of a spell, it's just nowhere near as busted. Like if you use it at point blank now, it does like half or maybe less of the bleed buildup. It does like 200 bleed buildup at this point, if you hit all 3, where before I used to do like 3 times that. But the way I was using it, I would only ever hit like 1 or 2 of the spikes at a time anyway. So I feel like even though I was using it in its pre-nerfed state, I wasn't using it the right way, so it probably wasn't as strong as it could have been anyway. And of course, Ice Spear, very useful for NPCs as well. Okay, that works. So yeah, I think I used it on Mesmer, Romina, and I used it on Mater. Yippee! And I think that's it. I think it was just those 3 bosses. Mater, I kept getting really close to beating her on a lot of different stuff, but she's a big target. This should like hit her. Eventually, I just said fuck it. Choose to land it. I would hope. I say, but oh, here we go, here we go. Yeah, you see a lot of the time only like 2 of them are actually hitting her, but she's a really big boss, so like it made it a lot easier for them to hit consistently or more often. Yeah, but like you can see, I'm casting this a shitload. If I were actually like good at this game and casted this like on top of her, she probably would have died in like in like the first 2 mana bars at most. Like she'd be dead like twice over by now if I would actually used it the way other people used it. Oh, hey, hey. Remember, I'm not here. There's nobody casting spells in the background. Oh god. Okay. second. I thought that was coming from me per se. All right, hey, yippee! This feels familiar. It's just like Mesmer, huh? And I blow up. Alright, this was me fighting, yeah, Godefroy to get the talisman. Whoa, what the hell was that lag there? What just happened? That was weird. Yeah, I was getting the Godfrey talisman. I think it was because I was trying to use it to fight Millennia. This stream was, oh my god, this stream was so annoying fighting Millennia. I was so pissed off, dude. Shit. That stream was like 8 or 9 hours long, and like 7 of those was just me fighting Millennia over and over. Oh my lord. Just in case. Alright. Now we can go try Millennia again. I think I was also here doing a quest line. I think I was doing the quest line to get the dagger from Selin. I didn't even end up using it really in the end, but I was really just looking for anything I could think of that would work. There we go. That was an example of using the the spell more the way you're supposed to. I was a lot closer to them. It did a lot of damage. Okay, so this one's kind of funny. This is kind of a cheese. I only did this because I got him to like a fraction of his health bar like 3 times in a row. I got him like within like 2 or 3 hits. He was so close to dying every time, and I was so pissed that I decided I was just gonna say fuck it and cheese him essentially, because like the fight, the problem with Placidus is like I really enjoy him. He's my favorite fight in the base game, but the problem is he runs away a lot. He does a lot of teleporting. It's not really a problem normally, because like by the time you're fighting him, it's like end game. You have your build, you're doing fuckloads of damage. He dies really fast anyway. Sometimes he'll die before he even gets to do like his laser beam attack or something. Like you're doing so much damage that it doesn't feel that long, even though he runs away a lot. When you're level 1, however, the fight goes for a long time. And he's running around, flying around a lot, teleporting around a lot. And you can't block through these because all of his hits do like lightning damage. So they'll just kill me instantly. So I have to be dodging it consistently. I can do his fight pretty reliably. Like almost every single time I have fought him during a normal playthrough, I never die. Like I do it in like one go. Because like I can just drink with my flasks and do a shitload of damage. But there's limits to that. I can't. That doesn't mean I can dodge everything in one go. Like I'm not that good. So I often would get hit even in my normal playthroughs. I can't afford to be hit at all. And when the fight goes on for like 3 times as long, it's really, really frustrating. I don't know why I left all this dead air in the VOD. I think it was just me like figuring out how I'm supposed to do this. So I decided I'm just gonna cheese them. Fuck it. So what you can do is you summon Latenna on one side of the arena, because she has like her range is like half the arena's range basically. Like she has extremely long range, and then you just run all the way to the other side of the arena across from Latenna, and then you just shoot him. You shoot him with arrows. And the whole fight is gonna be me shooting him with arrows and Latenna shooting him with arrows. And whenever you're like, as long as you don't get close to him when the fight first starts, he never switches phases. he always keeps doing this, where he'll just keep shooting like lightning down on your position, but you can just run around and dodge it. So the whole fight is just me running back and forth, shooting arrows while Latenna's shooting arrows on the other side, and we're just pin cushioning him over and over. It took like 5 straight minutes of just doing this. But hey, it works! You can in fact do this, where you just sit outside of his range and just shoot arrows over and over. Yeah, Rio, if you're ever frustrated, Rio, here's a way you can kill him. Put Latenna on one end, stand on the other end, and just keep shooting arrows at it. It's so dumb. But yeah, literally this is what the fight was for like a while. At one point I had to switch my arrows around. It's so dumb. I won't be doing a level 1, so I won't need to do this. Yeah. I mean, like I said, like I got him so close to death so many times. Like that it finally like something just snapped. Something inside me. And I was just like, fuck it. I'm just gonna cheese him. I don't give a shit anymore. Like I got him like this low basically, like 3 times, like this much health. Like, and then I would fuck up one thing and die in one hit, and then I'd have to start the whole fight over, and it's just such a long fight when you're level 1. Like, so finally I was just like, fuck it, I'm just doing this, I give up. Thank you, Latenna, you were truly an angel, just blasting arrows. You can actually do this for the Radahn fight, the final boss fight as well, but it's a lot harder because you have to like really have like hyper aggro of the boss on you like the whole fight, because if he loses aggro off of you for like even a second, he'll do like an AoE blast that covers the whole map and kills Latenna instantly. But I've seen someone do this before, like with Latenna on Consort Radahn, and killed him that way. So so the worst fight hands down in the entire game is Malenia, and it's not even close. I don't care what anyone says about Radahn. Radahn, you can still cheese him with the shield builds, alright? Everyone knows it now at this point. That doesn't work on Malenia. Because Malenia, especially at level 1, is such bullshit that I could spend half an hour talking about this. I'm just gonna try and break it down as quickly as possible, because I've already vented a lot about how much I hate Malenia. 1, she can break out of poise, like being poise broken. You can stance break her. You do like a combo or something that like she's like taking hits where she's like flinching or something. She can just snap her fingers, say no stagger anymore. I'm too girl boss for that. And just fucking dash out of it and instantly hit you, or just swipe immediately, or just do an instant block whenever she wants. For some reason they coded it to where she can just instantly break out of staggers whenever she feels like it. So there's like no reliable way to like consistently like stance break her forever. And she'll just instantly kill you. When you're level 1, those quick swipes that she does kills you instantly. Like, and it's not just like one swipe, she does 2 swipes. So even when like you have like the shield bubble on, that first swipe staggers you, and then the second one kills you. So like anytime she do that, it would instantly kill me every single time. Next, waterfowl. I use a shield. I cannot reliably dodge waterfowl. I am not good enough at the game to do that. So I tried to use a shield. Waterfowl, if I try and block through the entire thing, I can if I have a full endurance bar and I buff my shield with like the shield barricade, I could technically block the whole thing. The problem is that after the first 2 volleys, she dashes like to the side of you kind of when she's doing the waterfowl dance, and it will hit you from behind and kill you. Your character doesn't follow her quickly enough when blocking to like block the 3rd volley, so she'll always kill you, or she'll break your shield like stance finally, and like that'll kill you. So I couldn't do that either. So I think it happens in this video a couple times. You'll see what I do. I have to like pull out a certain Ash of War that turns me invulnerable for a second, just for that 3rd volley to not hit me and kill me because of how like the fucking wonky hitbox is. Next, when she's in 2nd phase, the like whenever she does like the dive bomb explosion thing, sometimes she'll like dive in front of you, sometimes she'll dive like right on top of you, and if it's like right on top of you and you try to roll away, sometimes your camera kind of bugs out, and like if you're locked onto her, and you'll roll the wrong way and then you'll die from the explosion. Other times, if she's too close to you and you try to roll away, the explosion still clips you and like hits you anyway. Normally it's not a problem. Level 1, that kills you, so that's a problem. Next, when she does Waterfowl Dance in 2nd phase, it also does rot buildup. So the rot buildup will always fully build up if you're trying to block it, and will eventually, it makes the fight so hard because you're now Scarlet Rotted that you just die anyway. It's really, really hard to manage Scarlet Rot and her attacks and whatnot. Let me think. What else is there? I'm just trying to think, like, all my moves, every attack I was trying to do, she's really tanky, she heals constantly, like, anytime even if you're blocking with the shield and taking no damage, she's still healing from that, which is stupid as fuck. She'll heal off of hitting your summons, but, like, I had to kind of deal with that anyway, so she's just obscenely tanky. Like, there's just so many things. And I feel like if just Waterfowl Dance didn't exist, I would have beaten her, like, within like a couple hours at most. But it's just dealing with waterfowl was the problem. Sometimes also she'll be focused on your summon and then just randomly, I think someone clipped it, there's probably a clip on the Twitch somewhere where like she'll be waterfowl dancing like like your summon, and then just decide to fucking 360 turn around and go and fly straight to you with one of her like end volleys and kill you, which happened to me. There's a clip where like she literally does like a full 90-degree angle and like turns straight to me and just flies towards me and kills me instantly. Like so many times she does that. There's a lot. There's so much, dude. So what I had to do was I was summoning this specific summon. I'm trying to remember like all the things for it, but like I needed a specific amount of like stats to use the gear I was doing, and I needed a certain amount of mind to summon this summon. This summon, oh my god, he's such a hero. The Horned Warrior, oh, the Horned Warrior is like, I love him. He's probably like, after seeing what he does, the Melania, he's like my favorite summon in the game now, because like he just fucking ragdolls her. If it weren't for the fact that everything she does kills me in one hit, Melania would be like a cakewalk now thanks to this guy. This guy makes Melania an actual like decent boss because he's just fucking destroying her the entire fight. I love him so much. But it's not enough to save me when I'm level 1, because holy fuck, this took me like over a week of attempting. Like I don't know how many attempts it was. It was in the hundreds for sure though. But yeah, you'll see how the Horned Warrior was basically part of my rotation, where bonk, he just yeets her around. Just leave it. He ragdolls her constantly. Finally, the weapon that I ended up using was the Blade of Death. I tried everything. The ice spear, the spell, like the bleed spell, like anything I could think of that was from range that I could hit her with. None of it would work because I'd always have to be too close or it didn't do enough damage. And then she'd waterfowl like a dozen times, like this. I want you to look at what I just did here. This is... Look at what I had to do here during the waterfowl, alright? While she's waterfowling, I'm using one shield. Mid-waterfowl, I switched shields to this shield. I had to have two shields on. I had to make sure I had this other shield. I had to have one shield up all the time so I could use Blade of Death, and then I'd go back to blocking again. Because anytime she could just randomly jump toward me and kill me. So I always had to have a shield on, but I needed to use Blade of Death. But then, whenever she waterfouled, I'd have to switch to this other shield that has Val the Indomitable on, so I could actually tank through this. That just so I could do that right there. Let's play it again. You'll see the first volley, the second volley, I switch shields. Third volley, I have to use that skill. Because you see, she went behind me. On the third volley, she goes behind me. And that would have killed me right there. You can't block the third one reliably. So I had to use Val the Indomitable for the 1 second invulnerability. So my character would then snap to her and block the rest of the thing. And not get killed from the third volley. That was the only way I could reliably block the waterfowl dance without dying. And sometimes she would just spam waterfowl several times in a row, so like it was really easy for me to fuck this up. If my stamina wasn't full, she would break my stamina bar midway and kill me. If I was at just a bad angle, sometimes even the second or first volley would hit me and kill me instantly. Like, there were so many other ways that this could fuck up and get me killed. That jump attack, sometimes she jumps on top of me a lot closer than that move just then, and then she hits me and then kills me instantly. Like, there's just so many ways that things could have gone wrong. But Blade of Death ended up coming in clutch and saving the fucking day because I was able to use it from so far. Blade of Death has a really long range and does a lot of damage because it's all like percent health damage, basically. None of my other moves would do enough damage from like this distance, so eventually this is the thing that I had to settle on using. While the warrior, look at, he just ragdolls her over and over. Like, he keeps aggro, keeps knocking her down. I sit as far back as humanly possible, casting that over and over and over. And finally, I am freed from this hell. It took so long. I tried so many methods, so many things, dude. Thank you, Blade of Death, and thank you, Horned Warrior. The two things that saved my life. I think Millennia was the one that took the most attempts. It was either her or Radon. Like, they both took a lot of attempts. I think Millennia was the more frustrating one, though. I forgot about that. I don't know if you just heard that, but that was Andis coughing in the background. Or sneezing. I forgot I was in a call with Andis. And I was just fighting this, like fucking focused on this. And we were just both mute, like not even talking at the moment, but we were in a call. And he just fucking sneezes in the background. Just in the call.
Dearest.
I think there's another point where he also... Yeah. There's another point where he coughs at some other point, another boss or something. But Because we're usually in a call together, even if we're not talking. We're just in a call in case we're doing something. But usually we're just doing our own thing. It was so funny. But look at like what I'm wearing. Look at all the stats and stuff I have on. So in order to like use that sword that buffs me, I had to have like this helmet on and the talisman to get enough strength. I had to drink a flask as well to even cast it. Then I have like this other the two talismans that increase the damage I take but boost my stats up. Like so I can actually use the dagger. Like I have all of these different items on and stuff. Like so many different things. And to get Andis to beat it for you. Shut up. Oh my lord, dude. Just thinking back on it, it was so frustrating. Matir here. Matir was an interesting one because like 80% of the fight isn't that bad. Like I was using like other things and I was doing just fine against her. But then she does this one move that's like a huge AoE that you just can't, well, you can kind of dodge it, but it's just like, it's an AoE for the whole map. And if I didn't dodge it right, it'd kill me instantly, so I would just try and block it. There were many times I got her like super low, and so it was kind of like the Placidusax thing all over again, where I was just like, alright, fuck this, I'm just pulling out. I'm pulling out the Thorns. She's a huge boss. This is the kind of damage Thorns does, by the way. This is full cheese Thorns. This is full pre-nerf. Because, like, she's huge, so all of the Thorns are hitting. So this is doing, like, obscene damage. Look at how, in 10 seconds, I just did all that damage to her health bar right there. Like, it's disgusting. Like, this is why they nerfed the Thorns. On most bosses, you can't do this unless you were standing, like, on top of them. So, like, everything would hit at once. But because she was a huge boss, I could do it. I could also do it, even from this distance. I got her to, like, a fraction of her health bar, like, several times. But, again, like, dying when they're, like, so low, it's just so frustrating. Look at this huge AoE. Bam! Look at my health. I blocked it. I blocked that, and I had the shield thing on. And look how much damage that did. Even through the block. Oh my god. And it's just a huge fucking AoE. It's just a whole map-wide AoE, dude. This is why I was just like, alright, fuck this. She eventually does another big AoE attack, kind of like that, where she, like, shoots the laser all around the map. And, like, I just could not, for the life of me, seem to dodge it reliably. And she only would ever do it when she's really low, and I'd get her, like, super close to, like, dead. And then she's, like, up in the air, I can't reach her anymore. And then that would kill me. So I was just like, fuck this, I'm pulling out the Thorns. But yeah, like, look how much damage I was doing with that Thorn spell. I only had 30 Faith and 28 Arcane. And that's what this spell scales off of. Like, my staff it scales off Arcane and Intelligence. Like, and the spell is a Faith requirement. Like, and I'm still doing all that damage. That spell was so fucking busted. And then, of course, I had to fight Yolande and Ymir.
Such that he wishes for your death.
Yolande was kind of a pain because her sword pierces through shields. Like, I don't even know why I had my shield out. You can't block her hits because her sword is, like, ethereal or whatever. So, like, her hits go through your shield. So I had to use a projectile of some kind. So I just settled on this. Oh my health bar, look at that. Dude, like, just I'm telling you, every time I do so shit is the one where I somehow succeed. I had so many other runs where I fuck up once and die, but then but I'm doing like so well throughout the rest of it. But then in runs like this where I fuck up constantly and I somehow get through it. Like, I don't know why.
You will be.
My shining
I'm clearly at my best when I'm doing fucking awful. Like,
at my fingers.
oh yeah, I think I was using the flame. I know why I was using this. I was using Taker's Flame, the Blasphemous Blade, because fire damage, it does that. It staggers the fucking fingers that he summons. It like freaks them. They start freaking out whenever they're on fire. So I had to use something that had fire, because like he would keep summoning these finger things, and I wouldn't be able to kill them fast enough. So they would start swarming me, and it made the fight so much harder. So once I started spamming this, that dealt with that problem real fast. Like, I no longer had to worry about the stupid fingers. How did he live that one? I think probably rolled or something. I had to like wait for an opening. There we go. Dude's a freak. He was, I don't know what he was going on about, man. I mean, he's so nice too throughout the quest lines. What a shame. I still don't fully understand why he turns on us, to be honest, in like the lore wise. Like, you think it seems like it was part of his plan for Metir to die, so he could become the Finger Mother or whatever. At least I think. I don't know. Maybe he didn't want her to die. Oh, Midra. Fuck Midra, man. I hate Midra. Midra was the most frustrating, hardest boss for me in my first playthrough. I died to Midra more than any other boss in my first playthrough. I think it was like 27 times or some shit. In the level 1 run, it's pretty bad as well, because like, if one of those flames right here touches me, I die. So I had to roll it perfectly every time. I'm gonna replay this real quick, because this actually became like a routine. It kind of worked in my convenience here. Let me see if I can play it correctly. Damn, this stupid player. Every time you summon, as soon as I summon, I was spamming jump to the right and so like as soon as the animation for summoning stopped, I would roll instantly to the right, and I would always dodge it perfectly. As long as I rolled frame 1 after summoning, I would always manage to dodge that first attack. I did that dodge like dozens of times. This fight took like 50 attempts or so. I did it like dozens of times. Like, it became like an extremely reliable way of dodging it perfectly for some reason. You summon, instantly dodge twice to the right. Now, Ice Spear came to save the day here. I want you to know though, I was using Ice Spear for almost all of these attempts. This just happened to go really well. The only reason why this worked and I succeeded here is because my Great Shield soldiers really fucking hung in there till the very end and held aggro. Because normally they die within like 3 seconds because they can't block fire damage to save their poor little lives. They try their hardest, but the fire damage melts them very fast. So normally, like, they would have been dead like twice over, but for some reason during this attempt, they survived a really long time, and I was able to just spam the attacks enough to kill him. Normally that does not happen. They die really, really quick from the fire. So good, yeah, good shit soldiers. I'm so proud of them. Like, goddamn, they really hung in there. Because I honestly was kind of at a loss of what the fuck I was gonna do for this boss fight, but they really saved the day. Bale. Okay. Bale was an interesting one. Bale was ironically fun. It's kind of funny. Like, he ended up being one of the funnest fights for me because of how long this fight went on for. This was a really, really long fight. And I'm kind of amazed that I lived as long as I did, that I survived all of this. There were many other attempts I did. This was also like 50 attempts, by the way. This was a lot of attempts. My main strategy before was I would summon Latenna. Like, so I get in, I'd immediately spawn in Egon. Egon would distract him. I would run to the other side of the arena, spawn in Latenna, so she'd shoot arrows from across the arena, and then just try and hold Bale's aggro and like distract him for as long as possible while Egon and Latenna would shoot him to death. The problem though is when Bale gets into like his other phase 2, he flies all over the place. He almost always targets Latenna during that and would just fucking instantly like nuke her during that. So it wouldn't really work out. So instead what I did was I started summoning Dolores, the one who does sleep, the sleep arrows, because she also shoots arrows, so she'd aim for his head and shoot from a distance, so she'd do reliable damage, but she'd also roll and dodge, unlike Latenna, who can't dodge because she has no legs, so she can't move. Dolores would actually try and dodge and like live longer. So what I would do is I would play support. I would basically just try and grab attention. I used the fucking buff that increases summons like damage by like, it's only like 7%. It's not much, but it's anything counts. I'd use the buff to increase their damage, and then I would just try and frost proc Bale as much as possible. Trying to get Scarlet Rot or Poison or whatever took too many hits. It would take too long. Like, anytime I try to get Scarlet Rot on him, he would always like get up or fly away or jump across the fucking map or do something. And by the time I got to him again, the status buildup would have like worn off already. So instead I went with Chilling Mist on like the lightest blade I could find, because Chilling Mist builds up Frost like obscenely fast. Like it throws, you hit them with like a strike that does like 200 Frost buildup on the hit, and it leaves like a cloud of Frost buildup as well. So basically what I would do is I would just be running around looking for any opening I could to go and proc Frost on him so the NPCs could do more damage. Like, and you're gonna see this fight goes on for fucking ages. This took so long. The Fire Breath was also really hard to dodge too, so I'd have to block a lot of it.
You will rue this day. Behold, a
Curse
true
you,
red
Bale!
knight, and I, Egon, your fears made flesh.
I never wanted to stand in front of him, because anytime he'd do like the Fire Breath on the floor or something, it would hit me. But you see, it only took like 2 hits of the Chilling Mist to proc Frost there. It procs really quickly. But yeah, as soon as I was waiting for him to start attacking Egon before I summoned Dolores.
Solid of scale you might be, foul dragon, but I will riddle with holes your rotten hide.
You'll see, like, I only go in when he's attacking someone else. Thankfully, by the way, by the time I was fighting him, I was maxed on my Scadutree fragment. I think I was like I was 19 or 20 on my Scadutree fragments. That's the only reason why I could survive a hit here. He can hit me once and I'll live, with as long as I'm using the bubble talisman, the defense talisman. I saved this until I was like full geared, like I had everything. I had all the Scooby fragments, like. You see the attack right there? This is kind of why I like Bale a lot when it comes to dragon fights. He does this a lot with a lot of his moves. It wasn't until I did this level 1 run that I really noticed it a lot. He does like a lot of spin moves to where he always lines his head back up with you. So he jumps past, spins back around, and his head is like right in hitting distance. So like if you're actually trying to hit him in the head, as long as you're dodging things properly, he always like puts his head back down right in range to where you can hit him. But like you have to really know his moveset and dodge well, like, to do it. So this is why he's my favorite of the dragon fights, because he's like, look, see, again, his head is perfect, like right where I needed it to be when I dodge. If I was actually not afraid of instantly exploding from anything touching me, I would be hitting him right there during that, like... All the other dragons are fucking dog shit and like are so hard to hit. Where at least this one, he like tries to put his head in like a decent spot. Like I managed to block that hit there and survive, thank God. Oh yeah, he's my favorite fight in the game in general. I really enjoy Bale. He's really cool. Just keep running in circles. Just keep running. Ow. Yeah. I think the lightning attacks were the worst thing. I think the lightning moves were the ones that would kill me instantly. If anything that does lightning hit me, that would probably kill me, like right away. See, fire I can survive, because like, I don't know, I guess it does less damage for some reason, but... Look at all the arrows and harpoons in his head from Dolores and Econ. There's like a dozen arrows launched in his fucking skull from them just shooting him in the face constantly. I'm literally just playing support for my two archers to just keep blasting it. I'm making sure he's frostbit like constantly so they do bonus damage, like... Yeah, hail of harpoons. Dolores finally dies, but look at this. Poke. One last poke. This fight went for a long time, considering that, like, I could have died extremely easily.
Bail the dread.
I'm just like cheering with him.
Me no longer.
And of course Egon's bugged here. Look at it. He keeps slamming the floor and then he disappears but the hand keeps going. Baba Egon, you deserve it. Keep cheering even in the afterlife. Good job, Egon, I'm so proud. Yeah, fucking cold rapier right there. What was your favorite boss, Rio? I don't know. Oh, I think this was just I fought Bernal, the invasion. I was really trying to. I think this was during one of your streams, Rio, where I was telling you I was gonna try and use Midra's sword on NPC. It was this guy. I was trying to use it on him. The problem is that like the animation for the sword, like when you stop using the sword, like you'll see me use it later, but for him, he attacks really fast as like a follow-up, and so that's why like it wouldn't really work on him, so I had to switch over to use this instead. The good old ice spear. Melania's your favorite? You're crazy. You're fucking insane. I can't stand Melania, man. I hate Melania's my least favorite. It is not even close. Well, yeah, this was the boss that I missed. I messed up the recording and didn't record at the beginning. It was this one. I fucking love her. I think you have Stockholm Syndrome, Rio. After your, like, multiple streams where you fought her for, like, a dozen hours, I think you've developed Stockholm Syndrome. Yeah, that lightning attack would instantly kill me, and then the horse shooting its fireballs would instantly kill me when I fought him outside of Landell. But yeah, that was the one. I got way too good at dodging waterfowl, and now it's necessary for me to get to her. Oh, I see. I mean, that's fair. Once I can see people enjoying her fight if you master waterfowl. I just can't. I hate her. I just hate her so much, man. All the other bullshit that she does, like, it's just so frustrating. So poor Malekith here, he has like no HP. Like, he has a really small HP bar. So that's the only reason why I'm able to use Ice Spear on him like this and actually kill him pretty quick. He only took me like 3 or 4 tries. He didn't take many attempts. The only reason why I killed Bernal was to get the thing that can reflect his like death attacks. But yeah, like I ended up not even really using it at all because he just died so fast. So and my soldiers were tanking really well. And there he goes. He died so fast. That's the only bright side for Malekith, is that he has such a small health bar.
To kill what?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely enjoy Millennium more when I can actually, like, you know, not die in a single hit. Oh, so this is where I finally got to use it, and I was telling you in your chat, Rio. I finally got a good boss to use this fucking sword on. This is my first attempt since he's doing the dialogue, so one attempt.
I commend your spirit, but alas.
It's so fucking cheesy. Because it takes him too long to cast a spell that I can just keep doing this over and over. I just use the grab attack and fucking body him. Well, there he goes. Bye, Gideon. Bye-bye. That's so stupid, dude. It's so dumb. I really tried to use it on Bernal, but Bernal actually uses a fucking weapon and not stupid spells. So like Bernal would just like hit me when I'm in the recovery animation and I die in one hit. So like I had to. But because Gideon has to be such a fucking pompous bitch and use all his fancy spells that he steals from you, he can't cast it fast enough, so I could just chain that over and over. Oh, so funny. Thankfully I did Nefeli's questline, and Nefeli came in clutch here. Nefeli's crazy in this boss fight. She goes ham on him. Nefeli beats the shit out of her dad, like, 'cause so I just sit in the back here, ice spearing away while I have my army and Nefeli leading them, just beating the shit out of Godfrey. There was one problem though. One of Godfrey's attacks would actually just insta-kill me. This still took me like 10 attempts because one of his roars, he does like a roar that's like a huge AoE. And even if I was blocking it, it would still just kill me instantly. I had to roll it. And if I didn't, so I had to like roll perfectly on it. And I kept fucking it up like over and over. And also at first I didn't use Nefeli. After like 5 attempts I brought in Nefeli. This one right here where he does this slam, it's like a huge AoE. And if I think this one I have to roll it if I remember right. Yeah. If I didn't roll it, it would kill me. I couldn't block it. It would just hit me anyway, even through the shield.
Brave Tarnished. my strength.
So literally the whole fight was just me needing to get good and dodge that perfectly. Like, because anytime I didn't dodge it, I would just die. Oh yes, here we go. Dude, this one was funny too. I was telling you about this in your chat as well. I did the quest lines, all the DLC quest lines for the NPCs to specifically only have Letta
and Dryleaf Dane will never
and no allies. Needle Knight, Letta, and Dryleaf Dane with no allies because I killed them all. I killed all of their allies beforehand. So it's just the two of them. Meanwhile, I summon my army of 5. I've got Ansbach and Thiolier coming in eventually. I turned this fight into a fucking, what is this, an 8v2. I don't even think Ansbach or Tholier even got to like spawn in before I killed them all. I killed them. I destroyed them. Oh no, Ansbach does show up. She still manages to get a hit on me and nearly kills me.
I stand with blade aloft, blood of fire, for the dignity of my lord and master Mo.
They're just all wailing on her. Oh my god. It's like the Rolana fight all over again, where they just swarm them and like hold them in place. Oh hey Thiolier, there you are. Welcome aboard. Did you kill Dryleaf Dana's Grace? I didn't kill him because I wanted to use him for the other boss fight. I needed him for what's her face? Or at the time, I wasn't sure if I would need him because I summoned him during the Romina fight. That's it, Romina's fight. So that's why I didn't kill him early. If I can, I actually don't know. I've never tried to kill him early. But yeah, then for this one, I came to fight this guy because I wanted his shield. I really tried because with this shield, if you enchant it to holy or sacred, it does 100% holy resistance. So I wanted to get it against Radon for the consort Radon fight. Turns out this was actually a trap. This was a red herring. Some of the NPCs aggro during the boss fight. This actually ended up being the cause of a lot of my suffering, and I'll explain it later. But you'll see. The Consort Radon fight really took everything to beat him. And then I think there's another fight I do at some point here. I did some like side bosses because I had to go. Yeah, I did this fight. It's because I was collecting the pots, the hefty pots to throw at Radon. So I did record this one. I don't think I recorded a couple other fights. I don't remember. I think I killed Mira without recording it. And I didn't even bother attempting Lamenter. Fuck that. Lamenter would be so annoying at level 1. It's like, oh, well, okay, Yoda, you want to fight? How about I summon my army? Okay, my army. Now, eventually, this is what happens. just all cornered him. I'm sorry, Yoda. Oh my god. Get him in the corner. Fight back. Fight back. It's just like Rolana again. Rolana all over again. I don't know if you saw that one, Rio. The Rolana fight was so funny. That's probably one of my favorite ones, was just cornering her and beating the shit out of her. Okay, so so I was fighting Consort Radahn for like 10 days, I think it took, or something. Like, I didn't do it every day, but like it took like that long. Like, I would fight him for like a day for like 6 to 8 hours, and then I would just be like, all right, fuck this, I'm just gonna wait. And then like 2 or 3 days later, I try again. I died at least, I know for sure, at least 400 times. And the reason why I know that is because I used up all of those materials you gave me, Rio. Remember, you joined me just to give me like 1,000 scarlet buds and like fly moth, whatever the fuck those, like that fly stuff to make the scarlet rot potions. I used all of it. I used 50. So I know I attempted this at least 100 times, at least. Before I even started using any of my my great runes, because like throughout the whole playthrough, I never used my Godric the Godric's great rune. I never used any of my rune arcs. I saved them because I figured I would need them for this. I had it like 50. I used all 50 that I had saved up after like 100 attempts. This was when I was like somewhat, I could like reliably get to phase 2. That's when I started using them, and I used all of those as well. I reached the point where like I used up everything I had, and I was forced to start grinding more materials because like it's easy to get the fly material, whatever. And it's the buds. It's annoying to farm them because you'd like ride around a torrent and deal with the pests shooting threads at you that kill me instantly. But I could get a bunch of them reliably. But then I also had to farm rats to kill rats over and over to get rune arcs because they're the only thing that drops rune arcs. So I farmed rats for like an hour or two, and after that, and this was like this like nearly shattered my mental. After farming them for like 2 hours, I only got like 10 to 20, something like that. It was not enough. And I lost those within like 30 minutes of attempt, or like within an hour of fighting Radahn again. So I just said, fuck this. And I went and downloaded a mod, and and I fucking got a mod that would let me just buy. It basically turned Kale into a merchant that sells every single item in the game. And I just went to Kale and I just bought 1,000 rune arcs. He sells them all for like free, and I just said fuck this. I just bought the materials and I bought the things because I was not going to farm this for like a decade to just fight Radahn and lose them all instantly. So I will fully admit to that right now. I did cheat, but I only cheated to skip the farm and the grind because I would have lost my mind. So that was the one thing. Also, at this point, I had been fighting Radahn during this playthrough, like this run here on this day, for like 8 hours, and I just started playing music. I stopped caring. I didn't care if there ends up being if it gets copyrighted or if the music covers up anything. I didn't care anymore. So I just had music on fucking shuffle playing in the background, so I would stop having to listen to the stupid bullshit from Radahn's stupid song. It's not even a good song. It's like mid at best. I would say it's probably one of the worst songs of all the bosses in the DLC. Fuck Radahn. Alright, anyway. It turns out the fucking Friday Night Funkin' song was playing. The one that got really popular at the time. So there you go. I'll turn it down a little bit so it doesn't get too loud, but... But this just happened to be what was playing at the time. I didn't add this in post or anything. This is just what was playing. So to go through the build while we're fighting here, because this fight goes on for a while. Each attempt takes a while. I only summon Ansbach. I tried a lot of attempts with Ansbach and Thiolier. The problem is, whenever you summon one of them, it buffs the boss, his health bar, and his status resistance. So it would take longer for me to get Scarlet Rot procced on the boss. Ansbach, just summoning one, made it so I could still like only hit him like 3 or 4 times, and then throw one pot, and then that would like do it. That would do the trick to like get Rot on him. The main issue though was the second phase. the second phase, it takes so long. It takes like 5 of these Rot pots to proc Rot on him. So having both the summons, it would take even more, and it would take too long. Like I would just die before I could ever get Rot off. So let me go back a little bit. By the way, I'm gonna because we're going through the fight pretty quick here, but I want to just identify some of the things that I have on here during this. So I have the Great Rune active. I have the Strength Talisman on, and I have the helmet that also gives me strength. In the end, I had to stop using the Sacred Shield, the one that blocks holy damage by 100%, because I would take chip damage. I'd take 5% physical damage, would pierce through the shield when blocking with it. That was the sacrifice. It turns out that I started using the food buffs, which is another thing I slightly cheated, because I would have had to farm the materials, and fuck farming anything in this game. It takes too long. There should be a merchant that sells all this shit. It's stupid. Anyway, I ended up just buying a bunch of the food buffs that would give you like 40% resistance to holy damage for like a minute. So throughout this fight, I'm constantly eating these buffs. It gives you like it's like 2, I think it's 2 minutes for the holy resist buff, and then I'm putting shield grease, another thing you have to farm and can't buy. Another thing I bought a shitload off of Kale. Thank you, the glorious merchant mod. Shout out to you. You truly saved my sanity here. So I'm also constantly putting shield grease on, because it only lasts for 1 minute, and that also reduces the elemental damage you take by 20%. So I have like a 60% resistance between those two. Then the shield innate block, which is like, I think it's like 70% on this shield for holy resistance, and I think I might also have the talisman for holy damage. I don't remember, maybe not, but either way, I have like a fuckload of holy resistance at this point. So I decided to just use this shield instead, because it was like the only great shield I could actually wield with what I had available. It was all I could use. It was the only one I could use. Like, because it only had a 30 strength requirement, and it's a really good shield too. It was the inverted hawk shield, I believe. It's actually, ironically, the shields my great shield soldiers use. They really know what they're doing. They had a really good choice in shield, because this is the shield that ended up carrying me through it. So what I would do is I would use this shield, constantly have its shield greased. If the shield grease ran out, I also had barricade shield on to use as like an emergency backup to buy me time to then put shield grease on. And so I would use the Antspirit Rapier to proc Rot. I would throw all of these pots, like I had like 10 of them, and it would take like 8 pots throughout the fight or something to then proc Scarlet Rot, and then I would switch to the spear. Look at this. Even with all this holy damage I just did, or all this resistance I have, he just did how much of my health right there with this huge fucking AoE blast that he does? Like, there's that one. I drink, and then he does this. Look at that, almost half my health. And this is with me having like all the resistances on and shit. And I'm blocking. And this was still better for me than dealing with the physical chip damage, because the physical chip damage ended up doing more because he attacks for so long. Also, wait, hold on. I have to identify other things that killed me like a lot. I have to bitch about this while I have the chance. Okay? So yeah, dealing with the chip damage from the holy damage was a lot more manageable than the physical chip damage. This move right here, fuck this stupid ass move. I hate this move. This is stupid. The hitbox on this is so scuffed. I have to, like, every time he did this move, I had to identify it instantly and move to his left. Because if I was in front of him or anything, even though I'm blocking, the hitbox was so big on this move that it would hit me from behind my head and kill me instantly as he flew by. I had to be on his like to the left. I had to rotate left every single time, or him flying up like this would go through the shield and kill me. Next, any of these rocks hitting me would kill me. Luckily, they're pretty easy to dodge. You just run to the left or right and then jump right when they're about to hit you and it misses. In the earlier phase, when he does that one big like AoE, like he screams and it like sucks everyone toward him. If I wasn't blocking during that, or if I didn't roll during that, that would kill me instantly. Next, if he did the downward slam like that comes after that, like sometimes I would block it and then it would suck me into him, and then he does that downward slam that does like the magic damage around him in a big circle. That would kill me every time. Always, because I don't have enough magic resistance to tank it. I have to choose one. It's either I deal with the holy or I build to tank that thing. I can't do both. So anytime he would do that, I would die. So I had to roll the giant suck-in vacuum move that he would do, because if I didn't dodge it, I would that move would probably end up killing me on the follow-up. So these are like some of the things that just kills me every single time. Like it was almost always his magic moves. Next, you see how he's not even actually aggroed onto me. He was fighting Ansbach before before he jumps up, and like look at what like happens when he goes up in the air and like how he spazzes the fuck out here. Or like he changes targets and like changes aggro. I think Ansbach grabs aggro right before he flies up, technically. Yes, he hits him right there. So he gets a hit. You see he took you can see he took 200 damage. So Ansbach has his aggro here, yet he still throws it at me because I'm the player character, and therefore he fucking hates my guts. Now also he is, whenever he does this stupid like phase shift, like after image anime bullshit, it always targets me. It will always target you, the player, but the actual main attack, the one that does the most damage, targets whoever had aggro last. So no matter what, even if he was hitting someone else, I have to be always vigilant for these after images, because they still hurt. And then you see he goes immediately to Ansbach. So the stupid after images hit me, but then he goes to Ansbach himself. Why? I have to literally constantly be on edge. Because look, and then just right there, look at that. He's fighting Ansbach, but for some reason, he's just like randomly like, oh yeah, by the way, fuck you. Here's a random beam because I drank. I think he input readed me here because I drank. He's still fighting Ansbach. Oh, by the way, I saw you drink, bitch. Destructo disc. It's like straight at you. Just randomly throws that at me. Alright, back to Ansbach. Oh, but wait, after images, that's you. Back to Ansbach. Like, he's literally flying back and forth between everybody. There's the fucking suck-in move right there. Thankfully, I was like kind of at an awkward angle, so it didn't bring me straight to him. But this right here, if I were too close to this, this kills me 100% of the time. Like... I can't block it. Even if I put my shield up, it does so much stamina that it always shatters my shield, and it does damage to me either way because it's magic damage. So this shit would just shred me every time and always kill me. So I had to always dodge the suck attack or just pray. And he does it twice. In the second phase, he does it 2 times. He gets a powered up version. In the first phase, he only does it once. Sometimes I could, like, very occasionally, if I was full health, my shield grease was on, I had my full stamina bar, and, like, he sucked me in at an interesting angle, so, like, maybe the first hit missed, I'd be able to survive this first part. But on the second phase, he does this after image shit, and then he does it again! And it's impossible! There's no way! You cannot live, like, through that! And like, and then when he does suck you in, you have to dodge immediately, like instantaneously. Like frame 1, you need to be dodging backwards if you want to get out of it without it hitting you. But even then, sometimes he sucks you closer to him than like other times. So like if you're too close, you can't dodge out, so you die. So the only way to reliably roll out of it every single time is you have to be light rolling. But for me to be able to light roll, I'd have to take the potion or not be using a shield. Clearly both of these options aren't really going to work for me because I need certain potions at the moment. I have a potion that's like giving me more stamina and like helps my blocking and stuff. So like I couldn't do that. There was so many things, dude. There's so many things that would get me killed. Oh. Him doing the nuke was actually one of my favorite things because it gave me an opening to throw a hefty rod pot at him. Notice how like this whole time I still haven't rotted him a second time. I've still only gotten 1 rod off this whole time. I'm just trying to not fucking die. Like, this was a fairly scuffed run, to be honest, and this ends up being the one that succeeds, surprisingly. So like I'm literally just waiting. I have to wait until he's mid-attack on one of the other guys to then throw the rot pot, because the rot pot throwing animation's really long, and so anytime I throw it, it would do like 30 damage or something. It does like no damage, but that's enough for him to immediately switch aggro and start attacking me. So I have to let him, like, I have to throw a rot pot, let him get Angie mode at me, beat the shit out of me a little bit, and then switch aggro again, and then throw a pot again. Like, this was like a very slow process. And finally, he's rotted again. At long last, now I can actually fight the boss. My summon's dead, Ansbach's about to die, he's over half his health. I finally just get the rot, and somehow I have 3 flasks left. This ends up being the run that succeeds. I had so many better runs. So many runs where I got him to like a fraction of his health, where I have like 10 of my flasks still, and like the NPCs are still alive, but I fuck up one time and then I die. But of all runs, it ends up being this one. This extremely scuffed fucking run. There goes Ansbach. And like I said, the Anspur Rapier and my cold infused spiked spear, these 2 weapons I used for like 90% of this run. Those 2 weapons are my babies, man. I love them forever. You see, like, I immediately eat the fucking holy buff as well as soon as I see him doing the nuke, just to make sure, like, all my buffs are reapplied. Anytime I have downtime, I'm reapplying the buff. I have to. Because, like, if I don't, I won't have a window next time, and I will die. I finally get the frost proc. I get all the procs at long last here. Look at this. While he's up in the air, the Scarlet Rot is still ticking. As he's doing his nuke. When he does the nuke, by the way, just run. Like, immediately run to one of the sides of the arena, like, as far away as you can. And you'll live. Like, it'll miss you. The Rot's ticking. It's finally doing damage. And at long last, I finally get a Frost proc. The only Frost proc the whole fight is right here at the very end. Bam. He's like a fraction of his health. I have literally 1 hit on my stamina. He hits me here, it breaks my shield, I die. I have this last, I decide, fuck it, I'm all in. Swing, last of my stamina. If that hit had connected, I would have died. Fucking finally. After so many attempts. So many, at least 400 to 500 attempts. At least, because the reason why I know it was at least 400 is because I had to go back to Kale and buy 99 rune arcs at least 4 times. Or at least 3 times. 3 times I had to go do it. Because I would use a rune arc every single fight. So it was at least 400 attempts. Oh my god. What an awful, awful fight, man. And still I hate Melania more, because Melania was just bullshit. Radahn's fight is ridiculous, but like, at least I had a strategy and I knew what I could do to beat it. Melania's was just, she would just cheese her way and like decide to say fuck you and beat me anyway. But oh my god, dude. The Radahn fight was so awful. Oh man, just I'm like getting PTSD just thinking about it. It's so bad, man. I hate it. Oh yeah, but there was the other thing. Thiolier actually was pretty nice for the fight because Thiolier would reliably always proc poison. Every single time he'd always proc poison because he does the stupid like perfume bottle thing where like he throws it up in the air around him, so he'd proc poison on himself and the boss every single time, and it was deadly poison, so it would do the extra damage. So actually having Thiolier out would reliably get me to the second phase every single time. Always. Like the Thiolier was actually really good. The only problem is just that he dies really fast in the second phase, and that's the problem. The second phase is the actual problem. So he would die really fast second phase, and then Radahn would still have the bonus status resistance, so it would take me an extra like 2 or 3 pots of the Scarlet Rot to actually do it. So that was the problem. Like, Thiolier made first phase really easy, but he made second phase a lot harder, and second phase was the problem. So that's why I would only summon Ansbach in the end. Because Ansbach would bleed, and he would proc like at least 2 bleed procs throughout the fight. Like, he'd help me build up bleed. So he was really useful for that. And then finally, the final boss. So this actually took a long time too. And the funny part is it wasn't even because of Radagon was easy. Like, Radagon was the easier fight. It was because of fucking Elden Beast. Elden Beast is so goddamn obnoxious. I fought Radagon like several different ways, and but after fighting Radagon like in normal, like any normal way, it would take a while, and then I get to Elden Beast and just die. Then it got really annoying, so eventually I just started cheesing Radagon by the good old reliable Ice Spear plus Great Shield Soldiers. You see that move they just did right there? Anytime... Oh, flashbang, by the way. Anytime the Great Shield Soldiers bang their shield, it grabs aggro. I learned this. So he was already like casting this on me, but then they started like doing the banging. They haven't hit him yet, but he immediately changes aggro and starts hitting them after he did that first attack. So that banging on the shield grabs aggro. So the shield banging was my signal to be like, alright, unleash the fucking laser beams here and start hitting him. And so yeah, Ice Spear once again fucking busted, just deleting his health bar. Now the issue of this though, this took me like 5 hours, is because I had to figure out how to kill Elden Beast. Elden Beast is another one of the really obnoxious combos of like running away constantly and shooting shit at you constantly. Like, Elden Stars is super obnoxious. He has the stupid lasers that come from above. I have to pause this because the strat that I figured out here worked on the first try once I tried this. I tried a lot of different strategies before I did this one. I tried Blade of Death, I tried Ice Spear, I tried the fire flame, the black flame tornado, which like when you use it on top of Elden Beast, it does like fuckloads, it does like 5,000 damage in one combo. But anything that allowed Elden Beast to have time to run away made this fight so hard for me, because it's hard for me to reliably dodge and reach him because he would just keep spawning shit and shooting fucking laser beams of holy light everywhere, and like riding torrent made it a lot easier, but anytime he does the sword slash one, you can't jump over those with torrent for some reason. Those ones aren't coded that way, so like they'll just hit me even when I'm mid jump on torrent. Even if I jump over them, the hitbox is so big I'll be mid air above the fucking laser and it'll still hit me anyway and kill me. So like there was a lot of problems with riding torrent as well to like try and reach him quickly. This, however, I decided to like look up like what is another good way to kill Elden Beast, and I saw someone mention using the Wing of Estelle, and I was like, oh yeah, I've used this before on like a bunch of different bosses, but I never like reliably found a boss that it will like kill him. Like I never killed any boss using it. This works really good on Elden Beast because all of these little balls do like 15 stance damage or something, or 20 stance damage. Elden Beast has like 150 stance resistance or something. Like he has a really, it's like one of the highest in the game, but all of these balls do a lot, and he's huge, so all of these balls are hitting him. So just spam. This was my first attempt using the Wing of Estelle on him. Look at this shit. It immediately stance broke him in 2 hits. And so now he can't run away if he stance broken. He still managed to run away a little bit, but like as much what mattered was limiting his movement as much as possible. As long as he couldn't run away the whole fight. And he wasn't able to run away. He still manages to run away, but he doesn't get to run away as much. Like, imagine him running away for like 6 minutes straight with me just chasing after him, trying to do damage. That doesn't get to happen when I use this. Stance broken again. And remember, he's 150 stance. That's a lot. That's like one of the highest in the game for stance breaking. And I've already stance broken him twice. Like, that's crazy. This weapon is like specifically fucking designed to kill him. And there you go. I got him. Sad it didn't end up being the Flamberge. I actually tried that. I tried the Flamberge with Giant Hunt on it. It didn't work. But I did try. Thank you, Wing of Estelle. Thank you. I had forgotten all about this weapon. But it saved the day. It fucking saved the day, dude. I had the Blood Fiend fork with ice. I only used this one because I think it was like really light. That was why. And the Wing of Estelle. Freedom. I did it at long last. I am never doing this again in my fucking life. I regret my decisions. If I had known it would be this bad, I never would have done this. And it's like, for like 75% of this, it wasn't until I would say maybe the final like 10 bosses that it, like, I think half of my playthrough was just the last 10 bosses. Like, probably the last 5. Like, the 5 that took the longest. Like the Flower, Millennia, what is it? Like, Midra, Elden Beast, and Radon. And, like, yeah, I think, like, probably, like, those 5. And Bale. So those 6. Probably those 6 combined took longer than the rest of the playthrough. Like, the time spent just killing those 6 is probably longer than the rest of the entire playthrough. Like, just, it took so long. The full playthrough, I think, in the end was like 90 hours or something. And I'm pretty sure half of that was just those bosses and me being dead on the fucking floor. But I did it. Now you can play a good game. Yeah, exactly. Finally, freedom. Time for a new run, you know. So that was my journey. That was the level 1 journey. 0 to 10. I do not recommend. No one do this. If you have any value of your time in like your sanity, don't ever do this unless you're like fucking god mode and like all these other people that post videos. I'm no fucking Giano, whatever his name is, Gino, who like plays this game religiously, has every single move memorized. It does like level 1, no blessings, no no level, like no buffs, fucking level 1 club, no hit runs every single game in the series, like all at once. Like it's just fucking, no, I can't do this shit. I'm very bad, but I did it. So yeah, there you go. That was our run. I'm still split between whether or not it was Radon or Melania that was worse, to be honest. I still think Melania was worse in the end because, like, Melania was just cheating, essentially. At least Radon's moves, like, I memorized a lot of them in the end, but Melania, like, no matter what I did, she would just, like, pull out random bullshit and, like, just beat me anyway. So I don't know. Both of the I probably spent more time on Radon than Melania, but I still hate Melania more. Because I was just being gatekept by one fucking move. But alright. I think we'll call it there. Thank you, anyone that's watching the YouTube video, because I'm going to post this on YouTube as well. My bitching and complaining for almost 4 hours. Just my reliving my trauma. And thank you everyone who stopped by. I'll stop the recording here. Thank you everyone. If you're on YouTube, like, follow, whatever. Subscribe. I don't even know how many people are going to watch this. They're going to just see a fucking 4-hour VOD posted and like no one's going to watch this video. It's a total waste of time. But I wanted to do it because I wanted to see if I could do it. So there you go. So thanks for stopping by, everyone. I am going to end it here. And I'm going to go lay down. My voice is dying from me talking for 4 hours straight.